All right, and we're live. Morning thoughts, morning thoughts, morning thoughts. Shout out to the people going out to work this morning. Shout out to the people coming in from work this morning. Extra special big up shout out to the people who work multiple jobs. Let me start from the top real quick. I see a lot of names in here. Y'all were in here chilling for a while. I can tell, having conversations. We set up the live early and open up the chat so people can come have them early talk with each other. Because somebody requested that. I don't remember if it was Marie or Nans or one of you that said that I should do it. So I tried it this morning. All right, Nans is here bright and early. Nans, big up yourself. Thank you for being here. Nans with the royal greeting. Good morning, kings and queens. P-Niles 123 is in the building with us this morning as well. There were some black names in here, but the black names won't be here because I changed it to green names only. Somebody said, please go live SouFLo and let's talk about this Karmelo Anthony stuff. And please leave the chat open for all of us. I think it was an opportune time to close the chat and give that to the people whose names are in green. But the phone lines are open. So please feel free to call in from the outside once we start the discussion. YouTube said there is nobody here watching the live. No, so YouTube's all right. So on here it's registered as 0 persons watching. Audrey, big up yourself. Thank you for being here. Audrey says, morning from present teacher. She also said, please hit the thumbs up button as you enter the live. All right. It's bothering me. BM, big up yourself. Thank you for being here. Who else there? Marie's message says, I don't think the chat sees me. Marie, you don't think the chat see you? You don't think the people that are seeing you? I'm over here wondering why it says I have 0 live viewers. Because that's what it says on my screen, is that I have 0 live viewers. So it's like them not see me. Sean Cassell is in the building with us this morning. Good morning, Sean. We're not going to spend too long. We're not going to spend too long on the good morning shout outs, formals, and all that, even though I feel bad when I don't do it. Shout out to Roddy's daughter. We have so much to cover this morning and so little time to cover it in. The goal is to be off of here by 11, so it's 8:30 now. That's what it says?
Yes. Something on one of the. See there, 40 people waiting.
But the people them see me. And now it pop up and see there. Now it says 38. Oh, I think this one was delayed. You're the finest is in the building. I hear the baby. Senior Sexy, big up yourself. Thank you for being here. Sharon Ingram, thank you for being here. Thank you, babe. Marilyn Grant, big up yourself. Thank you for being here. Who else there? Marie's message. Wanna see Marie? Wanna can see Marie in here? Marie says she don't think the chat can see her. But big up, you're the finest. Big up yourself. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you greatly. Big up Nans already. Let me see. Tracy Chin is in the building with us this morning. Tracy, big up yourself. Black Eagle is in the building bright and early. Miss Goldie Robinson is also here. S Diva is in the building bright and early. Big up yourself, S Diva. Thank you for being here. Dorothy T is also here with us this morning. Roll call. We are roll call a little bit. Thank you for being here as well. I'm going to scroll all the way down to the end now. Elaine Brown, thank you for being here. Family, Miss Goldie Robinson, big up yourself. Thank you for being here. Banches, big up yourself, bro. Thank you for being here. Mistress B, thank you for being here. Grace James, thank you for being here. Let me see. All right. Friends from Lake, big up yourself. Lady J, big up yourself. Thank you for being here. All right. Let's get into what we are going to talk about this morning. All right. The topics I have on the table are these. Karmelo Anthony found guilty in the Justin Metcalf murder. We have that to talk about. We have Flippa Mafia, an update on Flippa's, hold on. We have an update on Flippa's story. There we go. I know something was off. I'm like, why am I seeing myself so dark? I didn't even turn on the camera. So the phone is hooked up, not the camera, but the light. We have an update on Flippa's story. we have the Karmelo Anthony trending news. This is what's trending right now. The Karmelo Anthony story. I have something here about buff lift. Apparently, this is now a craze among Caribbean women. Caribbean women are taking to this enhancement procedure that is supposed to lift the buff. We're going to talk about that as well. There's a Jamaican woman that has been added to the FBI's most wanted list. We covered her before, a couple of weeks ago. Now she is added to the FBI's most wanted list, so we will be going over her story. Her face, all these face of each individual we're going to talk about this morning is what makes up our icon picture. So if you want to know what them look like, who we are talking about, when the video done, or if you can't see it, just look at the icon pictures. You'll see them. All right. And there's something about Jamaica customs, and Jamaica customs can take away your monies when you enter the country if your money exceeds 100,000 Jamaican dollars. I saw a customs officer from Jamaica try to clear it up yesterday, but that custom officer still did not clear it up. You ever see somebody do something in their profession and you wonder how them reach another profession there and how they maintain that position in that profession? I look at some people and I study how they do their jobs, and I'm like, I could definitely do that. And they get paid a lot to do that. Their qualifications are not hard to obtain, and they function subpar the whole time. Yeah, so me I listen to him explain, and him never make no sense, but he said the basic and said what we could easily find online if you went to any of the sites, custom sites or government sites. But there's more to it than that. So we're going to break that down for you this morning. Him never clear up nothing, Audrey. See, all Audrey said never clear up a thing. Him never clear up a thing. Him did a go around the thing and go around the thing. So me I got clear up the thing this morning. You know what? Let's start with the Karmelo Anthony case, because everything else after that is lighter. Let's get the heaviest stuff out of the way this morning. All right? With your eyes closed and your hands tied behind your back. Let's get the heavy stuff out the way this morning. Let's start with the Karmelo Anthony case. So, there was a case in some part around in Texas where a young black boy, 17 years old at the time. For those of you who've been keeping up with this case, you should know the details. For those of you who don't, I'll walk you through the details quickly just so everybody is on par, right? This case involves students. It has the black and white element to it. Black boy, school student, was attending a track meet at another school, their rival school. So he's from the opposing team attending, but he knows children from that school as well. So my children play football. And when we go away to the games, we have tents. Everybody carry their tents, and you pop up your tent because you're out there in the bleachers, in the sun, in the rain, and them don't have no cover for you. So everybody carries a tent. We bring our tents too. Many a times I've gone to football games and it started raining like crazy because Florida weather is like Jamaica. You can see it raining heavy down the street and it's sun shining up here, so where you're there, and no rain fall upon you. And then all of a sudden it'll be 95 degrees and sunny, and then thunderstorm and cloudy. That's Florida weather. It's tropical weather here. So we carry our tents. Many times I've been to football games where rain falls suddenly and people run under my tent. People run under my tent. White people run under my tent. And as them run under the tent, it's like conversation starts. You know, they're like, ooh, can I stand here for a minute? Or them just run under the tent. They don't ask, can I come under the tent? Them run under the tent. And I'm like, oh, you're good. You're good. It's pouring. And they're like, man, this weather is raining, ain't it? You know, and me just join conversation. I have never told somebody, get out from under my tent. You can't stand under my tent. We'll get into the details of the case in a minute. Apparently, Karmelo Anthony was sitting under a tent of somebody he knew. They were having small conversations, right? You guys suck. Your team ain't doing good, blah, blah, blah. All right, we're going to see how we do today. Then comes the Metcalf twins. Apparently, they don't like black people. He thought Karmelo Anthony should get from under the tent. The guy who owned the tent invited him to sit there and never tell him, yo, you got to get from under my tent. But here comes a friend that is not a friend of, I don't know you. He's my friend. So they know somebody mutually, and they go to the same school. He tells them, get from under the tent. From what I heard from the court testimonies, get from under the tent, tries to push him out from under the tent. He told him, don't put your hands on me. And he reached in his bag for a knife. He ends up using the knife once they put their hands on him and tries to remove him physically from under the tent. Now, the put your hands on me part I have a problem with. The young black boy stabbed the white boy, who is a twin, stabbed him in his chest, and he ended up dying. Right? He ended up dying. Well, yesterday, he was found guilty of murder, and he was sentenced to 38 years or 35 years in prison. He was sentenced to 35 years yesterday. I have so much to say about this case. You know, how the hell did they get away with an all-white jury? Now we're going to get into the details, Dorothy T. So let me give you all the components so you break them down yourself. The person who is the troublemaker is the white boys, the twins. You know, I saw one of the twins, the one that's still alive. He was standing there after the verdict was read with his family. I'm a grown man with a lot of tattoos up my entire arm, right? He had tattoos up covering one whole entire arm already. And he's supposed to be a high school student. Anyways, neither here nor there. The twins, the white boys, they were already suspended. They were suspended from school previously. So the altercation that happened with Karmelo Anthony, they were not even supposed to be there because the track coach said he was surprised to see the twins there because when you're suspended, you're not supposed to show up on property and not supposed to attend any of the events because you're suspended. So they were already suspended. They didn't take that into consideration in the courtroom that they were suspended. They didn't take into consideration that no altercation would have happened had Austin, the white dude, not put his hands on the black dude. If you approach me and you try to be aggressive with me and I back up and I tell you, look, I got my licensed firearm on me and I'm holding it, right? And I'm telling you, if you put your hands on me, I'm shooting you. And you decide to put your hands on me anyways, and I shoot your ass, you were warned. He warned them. He told them, do not put your hands on me after he retrieved the knife from out of a bag that he had, a little knife. It actually came out in court that he was within his rights to have the knife in his possession. The knife was not illegal. Like I told y'all, I've lived in Texas, worked in Texas for years. I saw people with knives everywhere. It's like a regular thing for them to carry knife, and it's not no tiny knife they carry either. They have a knife holster to their side. I thought, I guess this must be the regular thing here. I see people in Florida do it too. Police don't stop them. The black kid, Karmelo Anthony, 3.7 GPA, captain of his football team, captain of his track team, never got in trouble before, is from a family that is actually loving and supportive, and everybody is involved. He has a tight unit family. You could pretty much say that he has a perfect life. The kid, as a senior in high school, works 2 jobs. the twins, the Metcalf twins, the boys that the one that he took his life, known to be bullies, known to be troublemakers, known to be people who use racist slurs. It is said that at one time he had a rifle in his vehicle and he came up to the school and he was like, let one of these niggers come over here and see what's going to happen, kind of thing. They were the troublemakers. So I don't understand how they came up with, but I do understand, because once I heard that they got a all-white jury seated, I said, I'm not even watching the rest of this, but I couldn't help but watching it to keep up with the information. I said he's going to be guilty. It's going to be a guilty verdict. It's Texas, and they're seating an all-white jury. Your constitutional right says you should be tried by a jury of your peers. So I went and looked up exactly what the dynamics of the jury makeup was. It turns out it was 8 white people on the jury, majority women, white women, 3 Asians, and 1 Middle Easterner. There were no black persons on that jury. His attorneys tried to fight it. The judge overruled it, passed it, made it okay for all-white jury, pretty much all non-black jury, to try this kid. They came back in 2 hours and change, guilty. This is the first time I've seen somebody got sentenced, got found guilty and sentenced in the same day. I'm not in a courtroom all the time. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. But actually all cases I have ever followed, once guilty is the verdict, they usually say sentencing will be set for October 1st or July 7th or something a day further ahead, right? They guiltied him and sentenced him. That's a life sentence. 25 years is considered a life sentence. They pushed for, the DA was encouraged by people to push for the max, which was 35. The judge listened to the DA and handed down 35. 35 years. Now, the only light at the end of this tunnel is he has to do 17 and then he'll be eligible to be released on parole. Either way, this was a kid with a bright future that will see majority of his early adulthood behind bars. You know, that's what I'm going to get to, Nance. That's the one I'm going to get to. You know, Audrey, I wasn't surprised, because from the day I heard it was a all-white jury, I said, they're putting the plan in place right now. Now, the day before or the morning of the final part where they're going to hand down the guilty verdict, the morning of, pictures came out. I found out the pictures came out the night before, though, but I saw them in the morning, which was yesterday morning. Pictures came out of, so some pictures were going around. I checked again this morning. It said the picture had, I saw the pictures. I saw somebody who looks like the judge, and then the twin, Austin, who died, the white boy's father, and the DA, district attorney, judge, and the father of the victim, all in the same picture. Looks like they were at a party. They were, you know what happens at parties, you enjoy yourself, you know, live it up. It's a good vibe kind of thing, which shows me that they knew each other beyond just regular know each other. And I thought to myself, well, where did this come from, and how come they're allowing this to happen? You can't be friends with the family of and then preside over the case. Obviously, you're going to be ruling biased, right? This morning, news updated information said the guy in the picture that is thought to be the judge is not actually the judge, is just somebody who looks like the judge. But the DA, the district attorney in that picture with the white boy's father, is actually the same district attorney. Okay, let's give them that and say it's not the judge, it's somebody who looks like him. I thought they were going to come say the pictures were AI generated. But somebody else found a whole bunch of other pictures with him, with the guy who looks like the judge and the DA. And they're willing to say that the person looks like the judge, but is not the judge. But yes, that is the DA. Either way, conflict of interest, right? I just knew once I saw all that, I said, yep, the verdict is going to come back quick. And it did. The only thing that surprised me was how quickly they sentenced him. I didn't expect them to sentence him the same day. Sentencing the same day, right? You know what sentencing the same day says to me? It says this was already planned. The judge does not need time to even go home and deliberate to himself after the jury came up with a verdict. The judge didn't need time to say to himself, well, this is a child. This is a sad situation because altercations do happen with teenagers, especially teenage boys. They're athletes, a lot of testosterone around. However, he was going to mull it through his brain. And he was going to say to himself, it's tragic that one died, but there would not have been an altercation if the one that died did not go put his hands on the one that took his life. And we have to take that into consideration. There's no record of this child ever doing anything to anybody else. There's no record of him being a troublemaker. He is a 3.7 GPA student. He works 2 jobs. He is the captain of his football team. He's the captain of his track team. The only reason he was under those tents and he wasn't in with his team, warming up, getting ready to play, because earlier in another game, he had sustained a serious shoulder injury and he was on the sick list. He was riding the bench because he was hurt and he was going through therapy and rehabilitating. Now, they didn't put into consideration that this kid is 5 feet 9 inches tall. The twins are 6 or over 6 feet tall. 5'9", 140 pounds. I see some people say it's 160, some people say it's 150, some people say it's 130. 5'9", 140 pounds. I'm taking a median. 5'9", 140 pounds, confronted by 6'1", 6'2", 230 pounds or 220 pounds. Did he feel threatened? Did he feel like they could do him harm? Did he feel like they were going to hurt him physically? Of course he did. You're not going to fight a twin and the other twin don't jump in. Plus, they're known for doing that, right? You thought the judge would have went and took all that home with him and say, on a later date, I'll give after careful consideration. Soon as guilty verdict came down, sentence came down. What does that tell you? That tells you there was no consideration put into this by the judge. It was already planned. It was already made up. We're going to stack the jury. That way, we have a verdict in our favor. And that's just what they did. I can't understand how in 2026, they couldn't get one black person on that jury. In order to have a guilty verdict, they would have, and not risk losing that trial, as in it come to a deadlock, they needed to not have any black persons on there, because one black person on there who sympathizes with that young black man would have messed up what they wanted to accomplish. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Morning, SouFLo.
Morning, family. How you doing?
I'm good.
All right. Talk to me now.
This story is kind of triggering. The way I see it, to me, this is modern day lynching.
Exactly. That's what I call it too, Marie. This was a modern day
those two
lynching.
twins, they've been hating him for a long time.
That's what I've heard too.
They've been doing this kind of stuff
They
for a
have
long
bullied him
time.
before on multiple occasions.
Their families know this. The neighbors and everybody know them and know that their reputation.
Right.
But they're all in on it. And I think that these twins feel like they can get away with bullying and doing these things because of their father's reputation and the people that their father and their family know.
Right. Right.
So they go around bullying.
Hence the picture. Hence the picture.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's my dad in that
That's
picture.
a big conflict of interest. And if I was that young man's family, I would try to appeal this case if I can. Because there's a lot of things going on in this case that is illegal to me. To me, like you said, the jury was one of the things that was a red flag to me. The fact that they sentenced him and gave him his time on the same day, at the same time, that reminds me of back in slavery time. When they sentence you, they're hanging you just as soon as they get finished sentencing you.
Right away.
Right away.
Yeah. It was planned, and this should be triggering for most of us. It's definitely triggering for me. You use the word triggering.
This kind of story make me like it make my skin crawl.
Yeah,
because it lets me know that in 2026, that same DNA is still in them. And they're still doing these things now. It's just that.
Where is the video? Because you know the entire altercation was allegedly caught on tape, on video from from
and we're gonna teach this. We're gonna teach this boy a lesson, because he's shorter than us, and even though it was more of us than him, he was able to overtake.
We're gonna beat his ass. That's what that was.
Yes, we're gonna teach him a lesson. Teach all the other ones who look like him a lesson.
We're gonna beat his ass, and they never got to beat his ass because he didn't want his ass beat by them, and he defended himself. You know,
he defended himself.
I think just the fact that no contact was made from Karmelo until somebody placed hands on him.
Right. He was defending himself.
That's how, yes, he was defending himself. He was waiting to be battered first. Remember I told y'all the other morning about, I learned this when I went to a self-defense class not too long ago, where they told us about assault and battery charge. And he said,
I don't think he went under that tent with the intention to hurt anyone.
He did not. He was sitting there talking to the
and
person
that
who
alone,
owns the tent.
The fact that he did not go under the tent with the intent to harm anyone alone should be put into consideration.
Yeah.
It wasn't premeditated. It was provoked.
Yeah. Yeah.
SouFLo, this to me, this is the modern lynching. That's all I can say about this.
Modern day lynching.
And then afterwards, they all go and have dinner and drinks and laugh and talk about it.
Yep, how they took his life away from him too. And if they could have gave him more years, they should. I seen one woman put up a comment, one white woman, she said, the only thing that's missing now that I would like is for them to give the twin brother 5 minutes in a cell with Karmelo Anthony. And I replied and I said, give him 5 minutes in a cell, but give Karmelo a knife too, so he could send his ass to where his brother is.
Wow.
You know, have you ever heard of a book called Without Sanctuary?
I think so.
There are 600 and something people here, right? There's a book called Without Sanctuary. The book is very expensive. It is sold on Amazon. I purchased one. I would have got to take it out of the room and hold it up for you right now just to show you. It's a big, thick book. It's called Without Sanctuary. Don't forget this, Without Sanctuary. All the lynchings were documented. News media. You see, when they were, and this is not from no 1800s and 17 or nothing. This is coming right up to now. All these lynchings were documented, and when they were doing this to us, they would actually print flyers and posters when the date of the lynching is, unless it was one of those lynching where they just randomly lynch people on the spot, which they did too a lot of the times. They would actually notify news media houses, and the news media houses would send out journalists with cameras to record the lynchings. So there's somebody who compiled all these lynchings and has a story for each one. The pictures in this book are big and they are graphic, and you can see them dressed up, and they would bring their children and their wives and everything, and it was like an outing for them to go watch us get lynched. Like an event. It's an event. So the book called Without Sanctuary, entertainment. It was entertainment for them. They would bring food and bring basket. That's where picnic comes from. Because pick a nigga. It was a pick a nigga. That's where picnic come from. So when you're like, oh, we're having a picnic in the park. Yeah, that's them. We're having. I hate when people say that. Park. Right. I hate when black people say that. Oh, out of ignorance, you know, they don't know. And they use it, but even if you tell them still use it anyways. But SouFLo, do you know how the police department originated? After slavery, when it was originated for us. Yes, to catch it wasn't for nobody else. So like after slavery and the slaves were let go, they told you, get your ass off my plantation. The government says you're free, go. You didn't have nowhere to go. How are you gonna eat? Where are you gonna live? How are you gonna feed your family? So one of the things that they started doing, they started stealing livestock. So the slaves who were let free, they would go steal a pig, run off in the bushes with the pig. This is enough meat to hold us for however long. They would steal some chickens off a farm or something. Go and look at how many years they started giving right as they were so-called emancipated for stealing a pig. Because they knew that was the common thing to steal. Pigs, chickens, livestock. Look at how many years they were giving out for that. So a lot of who got let free, they ended up in their prison system, and then that's also where the prison system, the birth of the American prison system came about. Yes, it started because of us. Yes. So the police force and the birth of the prison system at the same time because of us. You are free, but now we had to find another way to systematically hold you, and we're going to do it this way. So yes, exactly. Karmelo Anthony's case is definitely a bright as day case of lynching. That's a lynching. What happened to that attorney, that black attorney that used to do like Crump? Yeah, I think his name is Crump, right? I think Crump need to get on this case and appeal it. Yeah, I think so too. I don't think Karmelo Anthony's lawyer was aggressive enough. No, I don't think so either. But did you hear about it? But then again, behind the scenes, you don't know what they're doing to his lawyer to make him so docile. They are all in cahoots, my friend. Exactly. Yeah, they're all in cahoots. SouFLo, me go work here. Right, I'm gonna try to calm myself before me go work. All right, take some deep breaths. All right, later. Make up yourself. So it turns out that Karmelo Anthony's attorney was selected by a black guy, right? Karmelo Anthony's family is not from that town; they're from another town, but the trial is in that town because that's where the murder happened. They were advised. It is said that they had white lawyers first, Karmelo Anthony's family. This guy said to them, well, another attorney, a black dude, said to them, why don't you get XYZ for your lawyer? And pointed them in a direction where the person who they got for their attorney, they didn't know that same town where Karmelo Anthony got found guilty at, where the incident happened at, that black dude was a prosecutor, a DA prosecutor there for quite some time. So they're all friends. And even though he is black, he's like the only fly in the buttermilk. He's one of them that helps to hand blacks over to their system. That's what he does. That's what he has been doing. So they were railroaded for left, right, and center. But I think, because you have to be hopeful, so I think on appeal, that verdict will be overturned. And I hope that the sad part is Karmelo was getting ready to go off to college. They requested for him to be temporarily released, supervised release, just so he could walk the stage and pick up his diploma, because he graduated this year and the judge denied it, said no. I think on appeal, but not before the same judge. They need to get that judge off the case. Murder. In order to constitute murder, right? Murder is the unlawful killing of a human being without premeditation. I'm in the law book now. Without premeditation or malice, a forethought. That's murder. Murder is considered the unlawful killing of a human being without premeditation or a forethought. Unlike murder, that's manslaughter, sorry. Murder is the unlawful and intentional killing. This is murder. Murder is the unlawful and intentional killing of a human being by another. In legal terms, it typically requires malice, a forethought, meaning the perpetrator, the person who did the killing, did it with deliberate intentions, extreme recklessness, or during the commission of a dangerous felony. This kid got charged with and found guilty of murder. None of this applies to what took place. None of it.
Yeah.
Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Good morning, SouFLo. Hi. Grand rising to you and your chat.
Yes.
Listen, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. Listen, I don't know how far you've gotten because I turned you on when I was on my way to work. Mm-hmm. So did you leave the case of Karmelo Anthony yet?
No, that's exactly what we're talking about. Still, I was just I was in the middle of explaining from a law dictionary what murder is and what manslaughter is.
Okay, all right, yeah, because I'm at work and I'm still listening. Quickly, what kind of lawyer did Karmelo Anthony have? Because it doesn't seem like he's fighting these things. It doesn't seem like he fought these things, fighting these people. He needed a good lawyer.
He needed an aggressive attorney who was going to fight, viciously for but his lawyer was laid back because it is coming out now that his lawyer is in cahoots with the prosecution.
His lawyer?
Yeah, his lawyer worked in that same town was a prosecutor there for up until recently. They said
his lawyer is black?
Yes, but he's one of those.
Oh my! Oh, okay, okay. Say no more. Oh my God, SouFlo. When I first heard about this case, I have nephews and stuff that's the age of this boy, and it's been very, very upsetting, very, very upsetting. So I thought about his lawyer. I said, "What is his lawyer doing?" But it explains what you just said. All right, I just wanted to let you know, find out what's going on with his lawyer.
All right, family.
All right, let me get back to work.
All right,
okay.
Have a good one.
And thanks again for all that you do. Okay.
I appreciate you too. Thank you.
All right, you too. All right, have a good day.
You too.
Yeah. All right, bless.
All right. Okay, so let's walk through this, right? Because he got when the sentence came down, I was like, murder. Not manslaughter, not accidental death, because you still got to do time on the manslaughter or accidental death, right? It's murder. Live on the air with SouFlo. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, SouFlo. It's Larry.
Hey, Larry, how you doing?
Chilling. It's been a minute.
Yeah, bro.
You know, I'm a silent listener. Usually when y'all talking about Jamaica, I try to just chill out because I don't want to like give my opinions, you know, on things like that.
Always feel free to give your opinion, brother. You don't need to worry about if you want to give it or not. It's cool.
I appreciate that. Now, back to this Karmelo Anthony situation. The writing was on the wall from the beginning.
Absolutely.
You know, with the jury being all white. You know, you got some newscasters comparing this to OJ Simpson. Like this is Get Back. Right? And, you know, these white people ain't going to let no black kid get away with murdering a white boy athlete.
That's where I have the problem right there, too. So words are very powerful, right? Now, when the media says you murdered that person, that's not true because he didn't murder him. But they kept on using the word murder. He was killed. He was killed, but he wasn't murdered. And there's a difference. This is why I'm about to go through the definition by law of what murder is and what all the other stuff are that he could have been charged with instead of murder. But they wanted murder because it carried the highest sentencing guideline. So they want to strip him of his life, so to speak, for as long as they could, which would be equal in getting revenge, right? They couldn't see him walk away with 4 years, or they're gonna be like, what? And he's gonna be out in 4 years? Manslaughter, he's gonna be out in 6 years? Hell no. They want to hear 35 years, something like that. So they went for murder. But it is wrong. It is wrong for even us to repeat murder because he wasn't murdered. He wasn't murdered.
It's an interesting situation because I look at it from both sides, right? Because he's a black boy. I got to stay on code. You know how that go.
It ain't even about staying on code. That's what they do. Because when we say stay on code in situations like these, it kind of implies that we're only backing him up because he's black. See,
exactly.
Yeah, and that's why I can't say stay on code. Now, truthfully speaking, you and I both know we are probably the only people who always deviate from code. I've learned that others always stay on code.
Right.
But I'm the kind of person who I am definitely straight up and down the middle fair. Wrong is wrong, right is right. So even I could strip staying on code out of this and look at how the situation happened.
And this is where I sort of veer a little left because let's remove all racial biases. Let's say if it was a black boy and a black boy or a white boy and a white boy, same situation. Or let's say any of the audience, if there was one of their kids and somebody pushed them or they pushed somebody in high school and then they ended up getting stabbed. You're going to be looking at it like, yo, this dude got to go to jail. My son only pushed him and then he got stabbed.
Okay, pause right there. So, so how you look at it is not how the law works. Because if the law worked by how we looked at things or how we felt about things, the law is not governed by our emotions. So there are different guidelines for that, right? So it wouldn't matter how we would feel about it. Like, for instance, I would tell my son, I've said this to my audience, and I'm going to repeat this carefully for everybody again. Once you put your hands on somebody else that did not invite you to put your hands on them, you have violated that individual. This is where the charge of assault and battery comes from. Assaulting someone in law means you closing space with them. You know how you see people get up in people's faces all the time and they're like, I'm gonna beat your ass, I'm gonna fuck you up, and they right up in here in their face. That is already assault. And I didn't know that. Had I not gone to the self-defense course and the gun course, I would have never known that. The instructor taught us that. This is assault, right? Because he's asking us, when do you use your firearm? And you better make sure you use it at the right time, or you too could be seen as a criminal and be doing time behind bars for defending yourself, even though you have a legal firearm. So I learned that in this course. Assault and battery. You talking too loud to this individual, you're aggressive, you're cutting off their space, you have already assaulted them. Battery is when you start to actually lay hands on them. Now you're battering them, right? So I tell my kids like this, or I tell my audience like this. If you put your hands on somebody, you don't have a right to tell that person how they should react. So I'm not going to measure, oh, you only pushed me, so I'm supposed to push you back. Then what I'm supposed to do after that? Wait for you to punch me, then I punch you back, then wait for you to kick me, then I kick you back, and we're keeping this even all along? That don't make no sense. What if I wait for you to punch me after you push me and you punch me and knock me out unconscious? Next thing I know, you're stomping my head against a concrete, stomping me into a coma. That's why the law comes down to, did you feel like you were under imminent threat? So that should have been taken into consideration in his case. 5'9", 140 pounds, being approached by multiple guys who are over 6 feet tall, including the guy who he stabbed. And these are big old football players aggressively approaching him and putting hands on him. And he's warning them, don't touch me again, don't put your hands on me, right? Right. So he felt like he was definitely in imminent danger and under threat. And they don't have a right to say, oh, you only got pushed or you only got punched one time. Why did you stab? You don't get to say how somebody should react after you physically violated them. If a woman is walking past me, right, and I slap her on her ass, don't I go to jail for sexual assault?
Correct.
Okay, so how come a man could push me or put hands on me and I'm supposed to be like, well, he didn't punch me and break my jaw, so I'm not going to say anything, or I can't defend myself, like I can't stab him with this knife that I have to get him away from me or something.
And that's the thing. When you mention this, the defense rested their case and didn't even let Karmelo Anthony speak his part.
Well, that is a choice of his defense team, and his defense team should have put him on the stand.
Exactly.
They should have put him on the stand, bro. Just like in the Tory Lanez case, where Megan Thee Stallion got shot, and Tory has so much to say from behind bars now. And I said, see, your attorneys, they by law, they cannot tell you do not take the stand. They can only advise you, hey man, if I were you, I wouldn't take that stand, because they could cross-examine you, trip you up on the stand, make it seem like you're saying stuff that you aren't really saying, especially if your client is not too articulate in the way they deliver whatever it is that they are trying to deliver verbally, right? Then you're like, okay, I don't think you're a good person to go on the stand. They could advise you, but they can't tell you not to go. So they probably advised him wrong. He needed to go on the stand. He needed to go on the stand and speak to them. If I was his attorney, I would have coached him and I would have made him ready for the stand so he can look these jurors in the eyes and say to them, you can search my record, sir, ma'am. I have never been in trouble. I just helped a kid that was drowning. Did you see the story about him saving another person that was drowning like a year ago? And he was in the papers for it. Right. He says, that's the kind of kid I am. I am the captain of my football team. I am the captain of my track team. I maintain a high GPA. It's 3.75. And I work 2 jobs. I've never been in trouble. He needed to be the one to say that. instead of just sitting there. His lawyer set him up.
Yep, for failure.
Yeah, he should have took the stand. He should have taken the stand, and he didn't. But on the flip side, how come the brother of the victim or the guy who died, how come his twin brother didn't take the stand? You think about that? Because he did multiple interviews, but he wouldn't take the stand in court because the attorneys, the prosecution advised him, don't
Not
take
to.
the stand, because the defense attorneys could trip you up and they could pull up one of your interviews you did before where you said your brother first put hands on him, which would mean your brother was the aggressor.
Right.
So they made sure he didn't take the stand.
Man, all I gotta say for all these, everybody who has black young boys, stay vigilant, teach them how to move, swerve in this little world called America. You know what I'm saying? Because America, when we talk about the criminal justice system and black people, especially that when they harm white people, usually that self-defense thing gets thrown out the window, regardless, right? Yep. You have to literally be shot at in the back, you know, and bust back and catch the guy and really, I don't know, but usually self-defense for black people against white people in America, that's a done deal.
Yeah,
it never works.
It never works, bro. I've seen people protect their property, protect their home legally with their legal firearm. They still have to be arrested, fingerprinted, held in jail, and whatever else. Black people, and I've seen white people shoot and go home the same day.
No charges.
They explain and they go off, and they're like, "Okay, well, we're gonna investigate, and if we find anything, then we might have to come pick you up." But they're on their way. Right. So yeah, same way I tell people that concealed that open carry stuff that they did in like Florida where I'm at, they just said open carry so everybody could walk around with their guns out. And I did a video where I said, if you are black, especially if you are a black male, you better not fall for this open carry bullshit, because you'll be walking out there with a gun that is exposed, and one of them Caucasian police officers will forget that the state laws have changed, and it's going to come down to an altercation where you're probably going to lose your life. So that's a setup already. Don't do it. Because there was a influencer who actually shot a video. He sat in his car in an open carry state, which was Texas. He sat in his car and he filmed a parking lot where there were multiple police officers. And a lot of white people kept going by the police officers with guns on their hips out in the open. You could see it. And he's saying, you see, no police is harassing them, saying nothing. And then he goes in the video, he said, now it's my turn to try it and see what happens. The video is on YouTube. He goes, now it's my turn to try it and see what happens. So he holsters his gun, put it on his hip. It's exposed. Within taking about 5 steps, he was surrounded. They had their guns out on him.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And he's like, am I not in an open carry state? And the police officer is like, yeah, you are. But it start asking all kinds of dumb questions.
Yeah.
So that goes to show us, man, that the laws are here, but they're not meant to protect us. Or they don't apply to us when the time comes. It only applies to them. They're the ones who are supposed to get away with stuff under those laws, not us.
There's this thing called not white. There's a such thing called a common law. It's not written in books, but white people know to follow it, right? Like, for example, white people have the right as a deputy. You know, they could just go up to any black person, just, hey, what are you doing here? Right? And then have the cops behind them. That's common law.
Yeah, that's an old law that that is not. That's why it's not written. Because and here we go. Anything that's not written can't stand up in court. But that's what they used to do back in the day, and a lot of them still do it. That's why you will see all these videos on social media where they're like, "Do you live here? Show me some ID. What apartment is yours?" Or yeah. They'll accost you as if they are police officers and you owe them some explanation.
Yep.
Right, because that's what they used to do back in the day. Where your free papers, boy? That's what they used
Exactly.
to say, because you had free blacks and you had blacks that were still in servitude or in slavery. So when they saw black people, they would be like, "Come here, boy," and you had to go to them. "Where your free paper, boy? Who owns you?" And you, "Well, sir, I come from the Smith plantation back there. Where's your free paper, boy?" You had to pull it out your pocket.
Right.
This is embedded in them, you know. That's why I'm telling people about the book that's called Without Sanctuary. When you go through that book and you see how they were lined up, they don't have no excuses. Little children were there, babies were, they bring the whole generations of their families out to watch us get lynched. I thought lynchings were like done by people who had capes on their head, the cone head stuff and faces covered. No, it wasn't. It was a public event.
It was a family event.
It was a family event. So I'm not surprised at the verdict for this case, bro.
Me neither.
I'm not surprised at all.
I'm a little distraught. I'm not angry because I understand the judicial system in America, but it's like, damn, man, you know, white people can run this world, you know, so they basically on some, I'm white and I say so.
Yeah.
Even if they're wrong and we're right, they're gonna be like, "I'm white and I say so." Guilty, 35 years. We don't care about no manslaughter. We don't care about no second-degree murder.
Nothing. We want
nothing. They just be like, "Yo, he provoked it." Yeah. They trying to say once he said, if you come and touch me again, watch what's gonna happen to you. They saying that's a provocation.
And that's not a provocation. And his dumbass attorney sat there and just took that. "Objection, Your Honor." He should have said something. He said nothing.
Oh, boy.
He said nothing. And remember, the jury is influenced by what they're seeing in the courtroom, right?
Right.
So once the jury sees that your attorney is not objecting to certain things, the jury can't say to themselves, because they're not trained law people, they can't say to themselves, "Okay, he objected and the judge said sustained or overruled," or whatever the hell the judge was supposed to say at that time. His attorney should have bawled out loud, should have said it out loud. That is not a provocation. That is him warning somebody who physically assaulted you already, that if they put their hands on you again, you're going to hurt them. That is a warning. That is not a provocation. A provocation is what caused you to give the warning.
Right.
Yeah. But his attorneys weren't aggressive, man. They look like I've come to know now that they work for the other people. Yeah, they do. He got railroaded.
Oh, of course, man. Like I said, it was written on the wall from as soon as he got arrested.
Yeah, bro.
All right, SouFlo, always a pleasure. I just want to let you know I'm here every day, man. It's just that, you know, like I said, some things, like when y'all speaking about some stuff, I feel like, yo, let's leave it in the family. I'll let y'all talk. I listen, and I just call it a day. And then if y'all speaking about something in America or probably Haiti, I might just jump in.
All right, I see what you mean now. I appreciate that. No
problem. All right, family.
All right, fam.
Have a great day.
You too.
Peace.
One. All right. Appears to be on the opposite team. There's a lady here who explained exactly who his attorney is. And I think it's important to actually play that lady. I saved it this morning. I didn't know if I was going to need it, but apparently I do need it because we have to hear this, who his attorney actually is. His attorney was against him. His own attorney was against him. His own attorney is the live on the air with SouFlo. Good morning.
Morning, Flo.
Morning, family. Go on.
There, man, I strip a man there, but that's a go and hold it to see it. But anyway, my little tools on this is that I didn't think they did a fair trial with the black kid, you know? Because when I look at it, this white kid's history is so bad, you know? Because you know that he broke his dad's arm.
He broke his dad's arm, beat up his dad and broke his arm.
Broke his arm and he been in so much trouble.
And was suspended a couple of weeks before the altercation with Karmelo. He was suspended, him and his brother, for the same bullying and beating up people.
Yes, and they have a bad history, you know, and the school know that and other people know that. But, you know, if you're white, you're not going to, you know, you can't wrong, you know, you're always going to win. But I'm telling you so, I live here in Naples and I have 5 kids. And I tell my kids them, just stop. That's it. It is what it is. Because it won't be a fair trial. You get what I'm saying?
What do you tell
because
your
this
kids?
kid
What,
is
what
17.
do you tell your kids?
Papa, I'm telling you, I'm from St. Mary. I tell them, if you give 2 warnings and it does not heal, you defend yourself, you stab somebody, and that's it. I'll fight the battle for you. It is what it is.
Okay. Okay.
That's it. Straightforward. That's it. You know, because look, he's 17.
Because that's the
And
message.
this guy never been in trouble, you know? Pardon me?
I said that is the message that they're trying to send to us. There's a bigger picture to this. They're trying to put fear in our minds and the youth's minds, of black youth's minds, that you do not defend yourself or you might go to prison for a long time, even if it's self-defense. It's either you stay there and take that beating or you run like hell and try to get away. So self-defense don't work for you.
Don't work for black people because, you know, he was invited on the detention, just to let you know, by a friend of his that was there.
But hear this out though. The friend of his that was there with his tent, with his own tent, is also friends with the guy he had to stab.
Yeah.
And that friend goes to the school of the guy he has to stab, not to his school. And the friend is also white. So the friend got up in court, took the stand, and downplayed their relationship.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Because he told him that the white kid told him to leave and whatever, you know. So he was pretty much at the white kid's side either way, you know.
Exactly.
And stuff like that. But it is what it is though, Papa. But as I said, there's no law for black people here, and I'm telling you that. But the end of the day's flow, I came here back in 2006, and I went to Bonnie Spring at a club, and I was there with a couple of Jamaican guys, and this one white guy, I'm not sure if he was on crack or what he was on. Bro, you know what, something, he attacked me, and I knocked 6 of his teeth out of his head. I'm going to tell you, and I walked free, and I'm here today for 20 years, you know? So I'm going to defend myself, and I tell my kids, do the same.
If you had killed him, it would have been a different story.
I know, but I knocked, you know, I said like the kid, I hope he didn't die, you know, as Anthony said, he said.
Yeah, if you had killed him, it would have been a different story for you.
I know, Flo, but do you know something day and day, brother? We got to defend ourselves, man. Some direct kid can't fight the battle for us, you know? We got to fight it for them.
Yep.
Because, you know, there's no protection. It is what it is. You know, with this kid have all these record behind him. You know, the kid, Anthony has no record. He's a good kid. His grade is good. You know, and everything. And then, you know, 35 years? No.
Off the bat.
Off the bat, brother. Well, listen, Flo, have a great day, brother. I'm here watching, bro. I'm in Naples, man. Big up yourself, man.
Manners and respect, see?
Brother. Oh.
All right. So I want to talk patois to some of my Jamaican them, but I know if I start talking like that, then I'm going to alienate, because I know that there are people who are going to listen to this who don't understand patois, right? They could be like, yeah, the Jamaicans are discussing it too over there on this channel that I tuned into, but I want everybody to be able to understand what we are saying. So I'm heavy on the English or American English this morning versus when we really want to just chat some patois and just say, yo, the boy should have just do this and do that. And I'm gonna go easier on that this morning, right? You know, I looked at it like this morning. I said, I guess we go into prison then. Because if that's the message they're trying to send, that we should not defend ourselves or else it's prison time, then I guess we are going to prison then, because I'm always defending myself. And I swear to God, if you put your hands on me, my intention is to kill you. If that's me. My intention is to kill. As a grown man, my intention is to kill you. Now, as far as my children go, I'm going to say to them like this. Defend yourself. Defend yourself. Don't take no beating from anybody. Defend yourself. So this whole strike fear in them and use him as an example. It might work for some. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Morning, SouFLo. I want.
Good day, family. Welcome. Talk to them.
Yeah, man. I remember what we see the case guy everywhere now. Everywhere you turn it, there's some see it.
Yes, it's trending news.
I remember you talk about the detail them. I trust what you said. So I saw it go. I'm going to come from here and talk something like that.
See.
Right? And if I saw it go, the youth should at least get like a 5-year just to say, don't use knife. You know what I mean? But youth, if you flip the script, I mean, it was a white boy who kill a black youth.
They couldn't give him 5 years for don't use knife because using the knife he had was a legal carry. There was nothing wrong with him having that knife.
Yeah, I know, but what may I say? Give him something softer. Them giving him 35 years, it just tell me, say, a pit bull kill a golden retriever. How dare the pit bull hurt such a beautiful dog who worth life worth more? You know what I mean? That's why they give him 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
Them don't value you. That it mean to me the whole case.
Well established, bro. Well established.
Yeah, them don't value we. You know what I mean? If you just send out you to want bullies, in.
Yeah.
And dig him grave.
What I like about the black community is the donations are heavy because he's gonna need an immediate appeal needs to be filed, and he's going to fight this. And I have confidence that it will be overturned. However, it won't be overturned overnight. I don't know how that go already, but it will be overturned. So I checked this morning, and they have over 1 million, I believe, 300 and something thousand dollars already donated to help with his legal funds and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So the money is there.
Really like that.
The money is there. Switch that lawyer that you had because that lawyer worked against the family, and try to get that judge off the case. No, it wasn't a white lawyer, but the lawyer was definitely working for the other side. And his history shows that because he actually used to work in that same town as a prosecutor. So you don't think the judge from that same town know him as the prosecutor, the local DA?
Our friends, them, man.
Exactly.
Friends, we're gonna sink that boy, and because he don't want to lose him friendship with them and the links, he just work with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. A corrupt world, yo. The youth, besides the youth, dead call like life important. We have to understand, say, a man, body and property. My body and my property is all me have.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to put your hands on anybody.
No, hey, SouFlo, me not approach nobody, hombre. I disagree with you. You diss me. I just talk your mouth, run off your mouth.
Yeah, you're not supposed to put your hands on anybody. We actually have laws. Again, the assault and battery law. It comes with that law. You don't put your hands on anybody who did not invite you to put your hands on them. It is illegal. People actually go to prison for assault and battery.
Yeah, but man,
and he was assaulted.
Where a person,
and he just didn't wait around to get battered.
Yeah, and the man body, yo, them could kill him, now. A man has a heart, so they can stomp him and broke all his nose bone, shoot up in the head, kill him. A lot of things could happen. You know what I mean? So it's like, man, protect himself.
Exactly.
And he warn them. It's like a lion in a jungle, lion roar, tells them, don't come closer. But this I said, the Russian lion in the wind, lion bite up you and kill you.
But that's to show you how much that's to show you how much he was not the aggressor, bro. That's to show you how much he was not the aggressor. Because if a person is an aggressor, they don't warn the other person. You know, an aggressor don't warn you that if you put your hands on me, I'm going to do something to you or I'm going to defend myself. An aggressor is the person pressing you for something to be done. So all of that, they didn't care though. At the end of the day, they did not care. They already had their minds made up what his charge, they already had their mind made up what his charge was going to be from way early. We're going to charge that boy for murder. They didn't say we're going to charge him for manslaughter. We're going to charge him for reckless endangerment. They already, from way back when it first happened, because of who his daddy knows, he already spoke to him. He said, George, we're going to charge that little nigga boy for murder. And we're going to make sure we're going to stack that jury, and that jury going to be not one black person on there because we can't risk having a hung jury and have to go through this again and losing the case. So we going to make sure we put who we put on that jury, George, and then we going to sentence him to the max of 35 years. He going to prison, I promise you that. And I'm going to give him the max for you. That's the most I can do. And he said, all right, buddy, do something for me because I lost my son and I'm a bit emotional right now. That's all that was. That don't have nothing to do with the judge looking at the case and any parts of this case. The judge did not give two shits about any parts of this case. It was already decided a long time ago. A long time ago.
To tell you this, the son make a choice and lost. That's it. The son make a bad decision.
And the message to them and his kind is keep your damn hands to yourself. Because guess what? Y'all gave him 35 years, it still won't bring back the one that died. It's a sad situation that a young man lost his life so young. And I always say this too, that I hate to see young people make mistakes that cost them their lives. Because when you make a mistake and it hurt, but you can learn from it and move on, you can look back later in life and say, damn, I was dumb when I was 17 or 18. Why did I do that for? But you lived. But a mistake like that cost him his life, he'll never be able to learn from it because he's dead. So the message in that is keep your damn hands to yourself. Because not everybody wants a beating from you. Not everybody wants your hands on them. Not everybody wants to be violated by you. And some people will defend themselves.
But not take my beating.
Yeah.
Not that straight.
Yeah, well, brother, let me go through these because we have some reading for those. See? So I'll cut this.
All right, I'm calling back.
All right, manners.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to slow down on the phone calls for a minute and go back over this because I want to establish in everybody's mind what murder is, what manslaughter is. Remember, they charged him for murder. They found him guilty of murder, and they sentenced him in the sentencing guidelines of murder. Murder, according to this law dictionary right here, murder is the unlawful and intentional killing of one human being by another. In legal terms, in legal terms, it typically requires malice aforethought, which means you are malicing this person from before, meaning that the perpetrator acted with deliberate intent, extreme recklessness, or during the commission of a dangerous felony. None of that matched that situation that happened. The key classifications, the definition of murder varies depending on the circumstances, the intent, and the justification and the jurisdiction. And it is generally broken down into these categories. So, key classification: first-degree murder is the most severe, typically requiring premeditation, which is planning the act in advance before doing it, or occurring during the commission of another serious crime. The guy was just sitting there under the tent. He definitely wasn't committing any other serious crime and stabbed this guy while he was doing that. So that X him out of this. Second-degree murder would be an intentional killing that occurs without prior planning or premeditation, or one committed with extreme recklessness, indicating a depraved indifference to human life. That's not, because he warned him. So that's not this either. So they couldn't charge him for first-degree murder. They couldn't charge him for second-degree murder. Felony murder, which is the third one, felony murder is a charge where a person can be convicted of murder if death occurs during the commission of a dangerous felony, like a burglary or a robbery, even if the killing was not intentional. They couldn't charge him for that either because he wasn't in the middle of committing a dangerous felony. He wasn't doing no robbery, he wasn't doing no burglary or anything like that. Then you have murder versus manslaughter. What is manslaughter? Manslaughter is the unlawful killing of a human being without premeditation or malice. If you kill somebody, it is unlawful, right? But this is without. Now, it would sound like he could fit under this. It says, unlike murder, which requires a deliberate and a planned intention to cause the death of an individual. That kid did not deliberately plan to cause the death of anybody. This is the captain of a track team or the captain of a football team that went to a friggin' track meet and was sitting under a tent to shelter from the rain, speaking to somebody else who invited him under his tent to shelter from the rain. He didn't have no intention, I'm going to come here today and I'm going to kill that dude. That is what would need to happen and be established before they could even charge him with murder, you know. This is why I feel like on appeal, if he has an attorney who is aggressive, who could speak up for him and go into the books and quote directly from the law books, there's no way that they can go around that. But because his lawyer stayed silent, he got what he got. Manslaughter, you killing another human being without premeditation or malice, forethought. Now, it also says that death would result from recklessness and criminal negligence, or in the hest of a passion. None of that applies to him. So they couldn't charge him with murder. They couldn't charge him with any of the 7 degrees of murder. They couldn't charge him with manslaughter either. He was about to walk. You have voluntary manslaughter and you have involuntary manslaughter. Let's take it, these are the lowest ones. So let's take it lower. Voluntary manslaughter, often referred to as the heat of passion, a crime that occurs when an individual intends to cause serious harm or death, but acts under extreme emotional disturbance or sudden provocation. He was acting under sudden provocation, but it wouldn't have been able to be established that the individual intended to cause extreme harm or death. Remember, he warned them. He took out his knife. He warned them. He said, "Don't put your hands on me again." Even if he said, "Put your hands on me again, see what happens." That's warning them. They wouldn't have been able to prove voluntary manslaughter either. Let's go to involuntary manslaughter. So voluntary manslaughter is like you come home and you hear coming from your bedroom, and you go open your bedroom door and there goes your wife and your neighbor, and he's going to town, right? And you, in the heat of everything, because you're a licensed firearm carrier anyways, it just so happened my licensed firearm carrier that I always carry, my gun is always on my hip. This is what I walked into when I came home. I blacked out. I pulled out my gun. I just lit up everybody in the room. Bow, bow, bow. That would fall under voluntary manslaughter, actually. Because nobody is going to open the door, see that, and then go, I'm so hurt. Close the door. Y'all can finish up in there. I'm leaving. Call me when you're done so I can come get the rest of my stuff. That almost non-existent. You have involuntary manslaughter. They have others that are like vehicular manslaughter, which is the last one, but there was no vehicle involved in this. So let's look at involuntary manslaughter. Involuntary manslaughter. This occurs when there is no intention to kill or to cause bodily harm, but death was the result unintentionally. Could fit under involuntary, which would be the lowest one. He would probably walk away with about 4 years if this was what he was found guilty of. Involuntary manslaughter, he would have gotten about 4 years or so, right? But it says this occurs when there is no intention to kill or cause serious harm, but death is the result unintentionally from recklessness, from criminal negligence, or in the commission of a lesser unlawful act, like a misdemeanor. They couldn't even have charged him with involuntary manslaughter because he wasn't there doing anything reckless, no criminal negligence, no commission of a lesser unlawful act, or none of that. So they had to set this kid up, and they set him up and hit him with the highest one possible, murder. I don't know how the judge let this fly, but I do know. I'm not surprised. I don't think anybody else should be surprised too. This is the United States of America, and this is how stuff works. I think it's time that we accept that this is where we're at, and this is how things work. I saw one white man yesterday. He made a video where he said, I'm speaking to my people and those who look like me on behalf of me and us and the black people. They're tired. They're tired. They're tired of fighting. They're tired of holding the baton. They're tired of passing it, and we're never there to help them pass it along. And I left a comment that said, we're not tired, actually. We just know now exactly who we're dealing with, and we just know now that y'all will never change. I think it's time that most of us get to that, if you are not there already. We know who we're dealing with, we know their train of thought, and we know they will never change. That's it. It will take away the surprise element. Oh my God, I'm so shocked. They found him guilty of murder. You should have known that was coming down the pipeline. You should have known. A white boy, in their eyes, Austin Metcalf's life was worth way more than Karmelo Anthony's life. And how dare you try to defend yourself and end up killing a precious white boy? You have to go. That's all that is. Very easy to get into trouble, huh? Because he didn't go out looking for trouble. That kid did not go out looking for trouble. If he went out looking for trouble, he would have had his knife in his hand, stabbing after people or chucking people and picking fights. He was sitting under somebody's tent trying to shelter from the rain. And nothing happened until somebody else who doesn't even own that tent came under the tent and decided he has to get out from under the tent into the rain. And I will forcibly remove you, and starts pushing him. And he says, don't touch me. Don't put your hands on me again. And goes for his knife in his bag. If you put your hands on me again, you'll see. And he collars him up now to try to get him out of there, and got stabbed. That's self-defense. That's self-defense as plain as day. But remember, when you're black in this USA, please remember this. When you decide to defend yourself, also make up your mind to face the consequences that are going to come with defending yourself. Especially if you defended yourself against a white person. I'm not telling some of you, because I know some of you scary as hell, right? And you're going to weigh your options. You're going to be like, you know what? I want a white man to know I'm not going to do nothing about it. They've instilled that in us ever since I came to this country. I've heard it's easier when you kill black people, because when you kill black people, they don't give you that much time. You'll be back out soon. You probably even beat the case. Don't kill no white person, though. They're going to give you the death penalty. I don't know if any of y'all have heard that, but I've heard that. I grew up here. I've heard that ever since I came here. If you kill anybody white, you're going to prison. You're getting the death penalty. You can't escape it, even if you are defending yourself. That is why you see black people keep their killings to the black community. It's not like, because people ask questions all the time. How y'all so gangster? Y'all got guns. Y'all walk around talking about shooting the ops. How come y'all ain't shooting none of the Triple K people? How come y'all ain't shooting none of the, you know where they're at. You know where all the enemies of your people and your community at. Y'all ain't shooting none of those people. George Zimmerman's still walking around. Trayvon Martin didn't do him nothing. Poor Trayvon Martin put on his shirt, it had a hoodie on it, going up to another part of Florida, because he lived down in Miami, going up to one of them pocket cities to go see his daddy. Stopped at the store, got him a pop soda and a Skittles, and was walking into the community, and here comes George Zimmerman with his gun, because he got a licensed firearm. And he pursued that boy even when he called 911 and told 911 is somebody suspicious here, he's wearing a hoodie. Well, it was raining. It was starting to rain, and he put his hoodie up because that's what you're supposed to do with the hoodie. That's why you buy the clothes with the hoodie. Nobody walks out into the rain with a hoodie and don't put the hoodie up. Just let the rain bounce off your head top. They specifically told him, we heard the whole thing. Sir, I'm going to need you to stand down and leave that person alone. we have units on the way. Hello, sir. What are you doing now? He says, I'm pursuing him. She said, sir, I'm telling you again, I'm giving you an order, stand down, leave him alone. After playing that in court, where they heard you being instructed to leave that person alone, let police handle this, we have units on the way, and you still pursued him, and you confronted him, and you ended up killing him. And then you said, it was self-defense and I stood my ground. And they said, you're not guilty? Come on now. Come on now. Any human being, if somebody jumps out on you, you're going to fight. Trayvon was a kid. He jumped out on Trayvon. He tackled him. They were on the ground. Of course, the kid is trying to fight him off of him. While he's pinning him to the ground, he pull his gun out and shoot Trayvon Martin and kills him. Trayvon's still out. Zimmerman's still out there. Hey, you didn't see no gangsters ride for him. Nobody went to go put in no work on behalf of Trayvon. Because people scared. They're scared. Black people scared of everybody else except for our own. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Good morning, Flo. How are you doing?
I'm good, bro. How you doing?
I'm all right. I heard you were talking about voluntary manslaughter.
Yes.
What if the guy opened the door, saw his neighbor and his wife, and he unalived the neighbor?
Mm-hmm.
Then you turn around and let them know that you think that it was a burglar or an intruder raping his. So he just pow.
Mm-hmm.
To protect his wife from the violent attack of Grave. You think he could get off the case?
Yeah, you could probably get off with that if the wife decides to go with your story. If your wife ain't attached to your neighbor and feeling like you just killed her side man, and she's gonna tell.
But how would they prove that I hear screams from the hallway and I open the door and the sight that I see, I just pop out my gun and just pump him just to protect my wife?
Where did I protect her from? Because it was already in action. She's screaming because she in it. So where you protecting her from?
I thought somebody was raping my wife, breaking the house, and
that could
that's
probably
why
stand up in court. That could probably stand up in court. You know, voluntary manslaughter, but that would, because you made the choice to shoot, so it was voluntary. But under the circumstances, like it says in the guidelines for it, it has to be that you did it in the heat of passion. You had to have done it you under extreme emotional disturbance. So that would fit right there.
But Flo, I heard you said nobody would open a door and see a man and his wife and close it and say, oops, finish up and just close the door and walk away.
I don't know anybody that would do that. That's highly unlikely, especially if you're carrying a firearm. You're not coming home to your own house where you pay bills and hear all that, and you sneak in and go, look, what the hell is that? And you open door and that's what you see, and you just, oh, my bad, y'all can finish up. Call me when you're done. I'll come pick my things up. That's what it is. That's what it is, Keisha. All right, I'm out. It's not gonna go like that.
It's gonna be a bloodbath.
It's probably going to be voluntary manslaughter, not involuntary, but voluntary manslaughter. Yeah.
What about freeze though? You know when you see something and you're shocked and you're surprised and you just freeze and can't move?
Yeah. Well, if you're shocked, you're shocked. You stand up there and watch one. You might learn something new. You might learn something where you never know about. Stand up and watch.
Flo, one more question. What do you call the guy in Jamaica where push cat and sell orange?
Handicap man.
Oh,
which
No, because Mango said the orange man. I was wondering if you think this high sentence what the guy get the liquor use? You think it's because right now he's back in power and everybody feels that all white people feel that them have strength and they're dominant and them call it shot?
That is exactly why. And if you notice, it's not just white people, because just a week ago, the same situation with the Chinaman, where they will have the store where the little boy went in the store, he didn't steal anything. He showed them that he didn't have anything on him, he didn't steal anything, and he walked out of the store. They chased him with a gun and ended up shooting him in his back and killing him. You notice how the jury find him not guilty too? This is a message to black people now in this time, that if you defend yourself or anything, whoever kill you is probably going to get found not guilty. But if you kill anybody, your ass is getting found guilty, even if you defended yourself. That's the message.
So what about the sympathy of first offense? Because in America, first offense, they give you leniency. So why 35 years on his first offense?
Bro, you know, sister, the judge didn't you see that the judge didn't listen, Jerome? I'm not into the patois this morning too much because, like I said, this topic right here is for everybody. So there are going to be a lot of people who are not Jamaican who understand, who want to hear us discuss this. So I'm speaking this way so everybody can understand, because you know, people might come and be like, I want to hear it, but they talking that deep patois and I can't really understand it. So I want everybody to hear it, right? This was already planned that they were going to do that. So the judge, them sentencing him shortly after he was found guilty, I've very rarely ever, actually I've never seen that done. Nance put up earlier on the screen that if both parties waived something that after the verdict, then the judge can go ahead and give sentencing on the same day. So obviously it's something that's written in law that can be done, but all the years I've been on earth, I've never seen guilty come down, sentencing same day. But you got to think about this. If the sentencing comes from the judge that quickly, the judge did not have to think about anything. He did not have to weigh up any sides of the story or anything, because he didn't care to. He already had it in his head that 35 years was the max. He was just going through procedure. Let's accomplish step one first. What's step one accomplishment? Let's make sure we load the jury with all non-black people. Tick that box, done. Let's accomplish step two. What's step two? Let's make sure that no evidence shows up in court that could make the guy that's dead look guilty. So the blurry video that they're talking about, or grainy video, that video allegedly was in 4K or 1080 HP HD before. All of a sudden they can't see nothing on the video and all this other stuff. Everybody was coerced into speaking the way they did. Even the guy that invited Karmelo Anthony under his tent, which is also friends with the guy that died, he stuck to his white side. You know, he was like, well, you know, we didn't want him there no more. I think he was time for him to go. And then what's his name said that he had to leave. He kind of downplayed their friendship. He didn't come out in court and say, he was a very good friend of mine. I know we were rivals from different teams, but, you know, Austin started it because I invited him to my tent and I told him it was okay for him to sit there, so he had all right to be there. If he said that, Karmelo Anthony would have got off. So it was all orchestrated. Tick that box. What's the next one? Get him found guilty. He gets found guilty. We sentence him same day, buddy, and I'm giving him 35 years, which is the max we could give him. And they did just that. That's all.
Well, Flo, over the year, your accuracy rate of prediction is always very high. What's your prediction on all the donation collect for his lawyer fees? I don't think they will ever give him under 20 years if they was to revisit the case. What do you think?
That verdict is going to be thrown out. That verdict is going to be overturned for a lot of different reasons. The judge showed bias, and we can tell that the judge showed bias. The morning of, I saw the pictures of a guy who looks just like the judge in a video with the guy's father, Austin Metcalf's father, and the DA. Somehow they try to clean it up now, and they're saying that, well, the guy that looks like the judge in the picture has been proven to not really be the judge. It's just somebody who resembles the judge. But that is the DA who is in the picture. You know what that establishes? That proves that they were all friends, because it was taken at a party. So that proves that they were all good buddies and know each other. They party together and all that. How are you presiding over a case where my son was killed and you my homie, you my friend? Jerome, if your son got killed and I'm the judge or I'm the DA on the case, of course I'm pushing for the max. Because, yo, them kid the pussy killed my brethren son. I'm pushing for the max. Conflict of interest. A lot of stuff is going to come out in his appeal. The fact that his constitutional right was violated. The Constitution says you should be tried by a jury of your peers. None of those people up there was his peers. You can't stack the drawer with all non-black people and then talk about all his peers. Remember when A$AP Rocky, which is Rihanna's baby daddy or Rihanna common law husband, whichever way you want to look at him, A$AP Rocky, when he was going to trial the other day, you saw Joe Takapina, A$AP Rocky's attorney, go read up about him. That guy is super aggressive. That's the first word you will see on anything about him. When it comes to his clients, he is super aggressive. And that's the first thing he did. He nipped that in the bud. He was like, hey, this is out in California. You telling me you can't find any black people? You can't find any people of color? Y'all want to stack the drawer with all white people? That definitely shows bias from the beginning. This little boy, the black dude, Karmelo Anthony, his lawyer opposed it lightly. The judge said, nope, it's good to go, and went with it. Even the judge knows that wasn't good to go. So there are so many different angles that is going to show up in his appeal. I think that his verdict is going to be overturned. If they had found him guilty on voluntary manslaughter or involuntary manslaughter, I would have said, it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? You can still appeal, because voluntary manslaughter probably would have got him like 8 years. Involuntary manslaughter probably would have got him like 4 years. And that's the lowest that he could have went.
Well, Flo, you said the judge so biased. A lot of us don't, I mean, not a lot of us, but some of the people in the chat don't realize when they come on to a judge should be fully unbiased. Any case you decide to take care of.
Yeah, I think the people know that. I think everybody knows that.
Because even if it's a town where something happened and somebody from another town or a city come in the judge town and analyze someone, the judge can be biased to that case. I feel said that I shouldn't take off the judge off of the case. Like even when the judge send down the sentence,
right?
Couldn't the lawyer right away say, "Yo, this is an injunction," and said retrial?
Well, that's how the law works. There's a process. So in law, I wish Charla was here, but you know Charla is a practicing attorney and she's probably very busy. But Charla would have explained it better to us. So in law, there is no room for you to immediately change what the judge just ruled. You have to, there are steps to it and the ways that it's done. So it's called the appeal process. And in the appeal process is where all that stuff would be brought up.
All right, my boss. Big up yourself. I'm locked in the time.
All right, manners and respect.
All right.
Hello. Live on the air with SouFLo.
Good morning, Mr. SouFLo.
Good morning, family. How you doing?
I am good, sir. I want to say something to you guys. Do you know there's a black guy down in Louisiana that served 50 years. And some lawyer from New York went down and found him not guilty. Do you know what they gave him?
What?
In that state, if you're found not, if they found you guilty and you serve time and you did not fight, only thing you can get from them, you can't get money. Only thing he got from them was a voucher to go have food. That's the only thing he got for serving 50 years.
Wow.
He's a black guy. In that state, if you're wrongfully convicted, that's your compensation. You can't sue the state.
Wow.
One more thing.
Yeah.
There's another young kid in Florida, maybe about 19, 20 years, about 9, that's 11 from 20 is about, I don't know. Okay, the young kid, he bought his son, this young kid, he was like 11, 12. And they tried to convict him with the American law. And what they did, they went to the British law to convict him and gave him 20 years.
Okay, I don't
Down in
understand
Florida.
that. I don't understand that.
I don't understand that.
All right, man.
I don't understand it. You can Google it on the phone. It says the name of the young kid.
None of that applies to the case we're discussing, though.
What's over?
I said none of that applies to the case that we're discussing, though.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, that's all to show you how we as black people always end up in jail. Always. The white gets a different sentence than the blacks.
Okay.
All right, man. Be good.
All right, manners. Michelle Darling said, I only joined to ask why the chat had yo catch a stray. I don't know what that means, Michelle. Michelle Darling, can you explain to us what that means? Because if you only joined to ask that, then that means you have or something is important to you about that. So all this time when me there, I put in the work, you couldn't join. You only joined to ask that. I only joined to ask why the chat had yo catch a stray. Y'all see it? Michelle, you can call in. The number to call in is 1-806-58. For some reason, I don't think you will call in though, but I'll provide you the opportunity. It's 1-806-5878-953, and you can use WhatsApp or call directly. And I'm pin it in the chat right now. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
It's SouFLo. More because some about a solution I just think of a while ago. Right?
Keep it short for me, brother.
The only way to cut out the bias in America, black and white and other race, is to make every court case anonymous. Like you don't know what the race of the person be. And so when the judge presents the case, the name change. The scenario is the same, but the name change, and you have to set the case away where at the same point, but you kind of shift the story a little bit. And you can't know if a white or black or which the race be. All just for the get as a black people, I promise this. And the only justice.
Okay.
You have to change. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got it.
How? Which other way are you out?
That's a good suggestion, though.
Them raise are 300,000, right?
That's a good suggestion. So what he said was the only way to have a fair trial and to eliminate all the bias and racial tension and stuff is whenever a case is being tried, you eliminate the description of the individuals who are involved. So you wouldn't know in this case then, for example, that it was a 17-year-old black kid that stabbed I don't know how old Austin was, 17 or 18, right? That there was a black kid that stabbed a white kid. You would have just known that somebody was under a tent. The person was approached by another person. The person said XYZ. Next thing happened, altercation. He put his hands on him. He stabbed him. but there is
You
no
cannot
color
tent.
thing there.
You can't use a tent. You can't use a tent. You have to change the environment too.
Then
You
you
too
can't do
intelligent
that.
with door offer.
You can't do that.
No, you can say
there would
you
be
can
no
say,
need to do that though. Nobody like somebody are gonna buy us the tent. It's a
them
tent.
gonna know. Them gonna know.
No, not if you're trying it. Not if you're trying it in another. Well, we're hypothetically speaking and rewriting all the laws at this point. It just not gonna happen. You know,
the laws not gonna change.
Because by you changing certain things in there, you're changing up the whole case. You see what I'm saying?
We're too intelligent, man. We're gonna use different terms just for the people to know what the case be. And the same scenario play out.
I was riding with you until you want to change up all of the information. Then me not gonna support that because it could end up being a completely different case.
No, man.
So how would you say? So you wouldn't. How would you take out knife?
Use a gun and shoot the youth
instead of saying stab, you would have said shoot.
Yeah, him have a gun on him.
You don't change up the whole case, bro.
So, Flo, what am I trying to say? It doesn't matter if it change. At the closer they get to a fair trial, nothing wrong but tweet a few things in the story. Make the same point, the same scenario, approach the youth, the same story, but to change it the name of things, like the prop them in there. You get a different name, so a person can't figure it out. The only way you get justice because the bias now gonna stop. I promise that.
All right,
calling.
All right, manners. Like I said, I was riding with him until he wanted to change everything. If you change everything about something, then that something is not that something anymore. If me take this cup right here, so I'm gonna start strip down, I take all the stuff off of it, because I don't want, but nobody knows says the same cup that I use for morning thoughts, and then it only I got left black, and then I said to myself, say, but somebody I gonna know because them didn't know say the basic color of the cup is black, right? So me I gonna change it to red now. And then me I gonna say, like, you're changing too much. You're changing too much. I was down for that though. Change the description of the individuals. Leave race out of it. So everybody would have to guess. And then probably even take it away from that town and try it in another town. You know? If you try it in the same town, people are gonna be like, this is the case that happened at the high school. They're talking about Austin and Karmelo. We know that. Michelle answered, and Michelle said it's not important. Jerome said that the chat probably doesn't understand. So I'm curious as to why he thinks that the chat have no sense. And you know what, Michelle? All right. Now that I understand what you say, I was thinking the same thing too. That's why I said something right after. I said, no, the people understand, man. Jerome sound like him did say almost everybody in here is slow. Them don't really know what that means. And I was trying to save Jerome at the same time as well. You see, Jerome, Michelle came for you. She didn't want to know why the chat pick up a stray. It's like when you apply for a job and your name is Kathleen or Becky. They automatically assume that you're white. So you get a chance to at least interview. Yes, my government name is very European. And I remember back in the day when I was filling out applications, actually a lot of it wasn't back in the day. This was under occupational therapy time. And I remember getting to a facility and the person said, the lead therapist said, definitely not who I expected. Your name doesn't match you. In other words, I didn't expect a black man. And we did a phone interview, you know. We conducted a phone interview and they liked how I sounded on the phone. Them ask you some things about occupational therapy and all this. Do you know how to chart this? Do you know how to do that? Do you know this method of treatment, XYZ? I walked them through what I knew and she was like, when can you start? And then I got there and she gave me this deer in headlight look and I was like, well, what was that? And she goes, definitely not who I expected to see. So yeah, Audrey, you are right. You are right. So, and Bloodfire, I almost called the man stammer. I'm not gonna do it. I almost said Star, but anonymous man. When so if I call him again, he said to call him. Oh shucks. Marvin said. Oh shucks. It's a mistake. I'm not gonna do it. John Doe said he made sense though. If he did just stick to the basic, it would have worked. But he made sense. You know what? We gotta inject some humor somewhere, cause boy, the heaviness of this. I'm gonna close out that and we're gonna get on to some other topic right now. So check it. Let's leave this by saying this. Some of us have made up our minds. Me can tell you right now. So me make up my mind. If you for me, I got prison. For sure. Hold on, Carla. Hold on. I'm closing out that segment. Give me a minute and then call back. If you put your hands on me, I'm going to prison because my intentions are, right? I'm not going to be battered by you. Me too old for take battering anyway. You might batter me and kill me. You know, falling or taking a hit in this age is not the same as when I was a spring chicken. So I might not be able to recover. So my intentions are, if you put your hands on me, that you are trying to kill me. So I'm going to try to kill you first, right? Some of us are going to always defend ourselves no matter what they want the consequences to be. I don't care who it is. So I'm definitely never going to see you and be like, oh, he's white, so he's going to punch me in my face. I'm not going to do anything because I might go to prison. A prison may I go. For sure. Prison may I go. We'll fight it out from there, right? What we learned from this, though, is that they've sent a message loud and clear. They've sent a message loud and clear. And the message is, if you are black in the United States of America, then that self-defense stuff or that stand your ground stuff, it might work for you, but it's not going to work as easily as it would for others. And good luck to Anthony, Karmelo Anthony. I feel for his family. His mom cried so hard, she crumbled up on the floor outside of the courthouse. That's her baby. He never did anything wrong before. He's not one of them kids that's from a rough neighborhood. He's not used to anything that he's going through right now, and he did not set out to go looking for trouble, and yet this kind of trouble finds him that has will now rob him of his early adulthood years at least, because they're going to have to appeal this, and it's going to take time to go through the courts. And even if the verdict is overturned, it's not going to be overnight. He will be in a prison until, and you know how prisons stay, you know what goes on behind them walls. So he's still going to be subjected to all of that stuff until this sorts itself out, whether it's today, 5, 10, 15 years from now. So we wish him all the best. We're riding for him. We're keeping him in our prayers. And we saw exactly what this is. Another punch in the face for us and anybody that looks like him, right? With that said, whoever was calling just now, please feel free to call back. I'm giving you 60 seconds clear. Please feel free to call back before I move on to my next topic. I'm just going to run down the list this morning. The next topic that is on the table is Flippa Mafia making Flippa Mafia and an update to Flippa's case. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
No, Flo, I'll take 30 seconds.
All right. Are you the call before?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to Michelle, my darling.
My darling.
First, you have a beautiful smile.
Come back to the front of the line. Oh, you know, Sandra Michelle daughter that. Yeah? You did talk about you have a beautiful smile. How you know it's not our daughter that?
Well,
is the icon picture you watch, Jerome?
Yeah, me just
and the pretty girl and the icon. All right,
anyway, Michelle,
I'm not
you got to know me, Michelle. Flo like to elaborate a lot.
Yes.
And because me hear him said something that the judge show bias, and because with Flo, sometimes he'll tell you a story behind his conversation.
See.
And everywhere I go on social media, or in my real life around my family, I like to ask questions, not because I don't know the answer. Asking people questions, it activates their brain to think more and show more knowledge, hidden knowledge that's inside of them. So many times I ask questions is to activate the thoughts that, Flo maybe say, For real, Jerome. So it's not that I don't know, but I said, Flo, maybe somebody in the chat may not understand why you said the judge showed biasness.
I gotta cut you
because
off.
I just wanted him to elaborate. That's all.
I gotta cut you off because Dorothy T said sucking up much. And Mervin said lyrics Jerome. Them not bite Jerome.
All right, Michelle, welcome to the family. It's all love and we love you, Michelle.
You just me, Michelle, you love her already, bro. You know what?
We said we, Flo, included you.
Hold on. It's all love. Jerome, come off iPhone.
All right.
Call back on the next topic. All right, we're gonna go. We're gonna say how the brother not offended. All right, this is why it's important for us to be around each other. You see what I said? I said, Jerome, come off iPhone. Now, if I said that to somebody else and they're not of my culture, they're gonna be like, "Damn, you're rude," right? That's what we were talking about the other day about stay around your people, them. And stay within your cultural norms. Know your cultural norms. I know, say, sometimes when people say stuff, that's just the way how the Jamaicans say that. It's not, he wasn't being offensive or he never try hurt your feelings or nothing. All right. Anyway, segue in that, moving right into our next one. Flippa Mafia. When say Flippa, the song, how the song go again? Them ya, and them ya, and them ya, and them ya. Flippa talk about when say, hear me here, but me not care. Flippa was talking about him clothes and stuff, and him have to repeat them, and he was talking about people that chat about him, and I like him don't hear him here, but him don't care, right? Flippa as a dancehall artist, Flippa never bust as a dancehall artist. Here's a fun fact. If y'all have ever watched the classic called movie, this is a classic called Shatters. Shatters became a cultural, one of them movie there. But if you ever watch that, the youth in there who played Spragga Ben's brother, when named John, a Flippa that. So I don't know if because Shatters are one of my favorite movie, and John was one of my favorite character in there because Spragga was like, I kill me like a brother. I kill me like a brother. John was him like a brother where them kill. That was Flippa Mafia, right? Flippa wasn't, I never knew Flippa as a dancehall artist. But of course, he had ambitions and he wanted to be that. And then he was doing it. And he did come a long way and make some songs out there where we wouldn't call them hits, but because they didn't chart anywhere or anything, but they became local songs that had a buzz. So he very well was an established dancehall artist. Anyway, the updated news says that all four co-accused of the federal drug case against drug convict and dancehall artist Flippa Mafia, all four co-accused have signaled to the courts their intentions to seek a plea deal, which means they're going to have to work with the feds. They're seeking a plea deal. You go about seeking a plea deal by saying, please give us a plea deal. And they're going to say, well, what do you have for us? Because as far as I see it, you're cooked. You are on probation. You had a lengthy time before, and you still went and did this. We could send you back up the road forever. So what do you have for us to cut you a plea deal? Flippa Mafia, whose given name is Andrew Davis. Then you have Damian Jones, you have James McBride, and you have Clifford Brown. All of those, they have been accused of a conspiracy to distribute controlled substance, heavy drugs. And they are charged with possession of an intent to distribute cocaine. He graduated. There wasn't no methamphetamine the last time. This meth are the new thing. This time, methamphetamine and fentanyl. Y'all remember that President, we can't say President him, because I don't even know. Y'all remember President Trump wanted the death penalty for anybody who was found guilty of dealing fentanyl? You remember that? Donald Trump wanted the death penalty for anybody. This is a dangerous time to even be caught up in all of this. Worse, you are an immigrant. Worse, you are an immigrant from one of the country them that he has called a shithole country in the past. And then fentanyl, he waged war against fentanyl. So they're charged with possession of and intent to distribute cocaine, methamphetamine, and fentanyl. However, all four of them have asked the courts to ease up on the speedy trial. You know, you have a right to a speedy trial, right? But a lot of people waive the right to a speedy trial, but yes, they do. And they prefer to sit and plan with their attorneys, build a proper defense, so on and so forth, because I don't want to be speedily sent to prison, especially if it looks like the feds can send me to prison because they have good evidence. It would be wise for you to not go with the speedy trial something. So they've all asked to ease the speedy trial laws to facilitate their discussions with the prosecutors, the feds. In other words, they're cooperating, they're willing to cooperate, and they are seeking a deal. Now, what that sound like to you? You're willing to cooperate and you're seeking a deal. If y'all are familiar with Flippa's last case, which was the first case, that's big drugs. And if you're familiar with the details of this new case, is more big drugs. Now, what they do know is this. You ain't the one that's cooking up all this. You're not the one. You don't have a meth lab. We've been following you. You don't have a meth lab. So you got to tell us who's manufacturing this. That's going to be a part of his deal. Exactly. That's the word I'm looking for. Carissa Smith, you get the prize for that one. That's the word I'm looking for. May I put it on the screen right there so and leave it there for a second. You don't have a meth lab. Where are you getting fentanyl from? You're not manufacturing the fentanyl. We've been following you for a while. We know this. Give us your manufacturer. Give us your plug. So y'all tell me, say, Flip already know. He wasn't ready the first time around, but he's ready now. You know, sometimes I think they purposely let people like that out early. Maybe if he did a whole 25 years, he would have come out changed and said, damn, them 25 years I did behind them walls, thank God I made it out. Listen, I ain't going back. So I don't want nobody talk to me about no drugs or nothing. But some reason, when you get 25 and you end up coming out in 7 or 8, you feel like, yeah, I bust that off. I still got time to get back to where I left off, right? My plug them still alive. My links are still around. But you forgot that they're probably watching you now more than ever before. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, SouFLo.
Good morning, family. How you doing?
Hey, big up to you and your family, man.
Hey, man. Thank you. Same to yours.
You know the other black kid that in South Carolina that got murdered in the store?
Okay, pause for me. We're not on that topic anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we left that topic a long time ago.
Okay.
All right.
I apologize.
No problem.
All right. Have a great day, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
All right. You too. All right. All four have asked to ease up on the speedy trial. All four have made their intentions known that they are seeking a plea deal and they are willing to work with the prosecution. All four, that's snitching. How else are you going to work with the prosecution? All four individually asked the courts to grant them additional time to engage in plea negotiations that may result in a plea agreement that would render a trial unnecessary. Presiding Judge Anne-Marie Donio, she agreed to the request from the accused and from the prosecutors. So they're already talking to the prosecutors then. The prosecutors went in on their behalf and said, yeah, Your Honor, we're already talking to them. We're getting somewhere. Pump your brakes on that for us. We'd appreciate it. It's productive. And the judge, you hear what I just said? It's productive. Pump your brakes. We could squeeze something out of this. The judge says it's lucrative. Yeah, beneficial. Okay, got you. Pumping the brakes. And the judge did. Pump the brakes. The judge said they have 60 days to reach a deal before returning to court. Their next court date, some time has gone by before they release this information because their next court date is scheduled for July 11th. Today is June 10th. So we're looking at a month from now, which is half of 60. That means 30 days gone already. So they got this weeks ago. It's just coming to light. Don't you ever ask yourself why they do this? Because if this kind of stuff is going on behind the scenes, right? Why is it important to let public know, to let people know outside? Y'all watch what I'm saying. Why is it important to let people know outside that he has made up his mind to work with the prosecution? He and his co-accused have individually asked the judge to put a stay on speedy trial so they can negotiate with the prosecution some plea deals. Why is it important to let the public know that this has happened? And that it said, July 11th. The next time they return to court would be July 11th. I have a feeling that they won't be returning to court July 11th, but I also have a feeling that there won't be a trial coming up. Because somebody is about to be singing like Whitney Houston, hitting high notes and everything. Flippa Mafia, who federal authorities refer to as Flippa Magla, which is our way of saying modeling or a modeler or a model in a patois. So it's a Magla. Flippa Magla. And the feds also refer to him as the Flossing King. He has been on parole since 2022 after being convicted on a 2016 drug charge. We already know how that went. He went in, he did his time. Flippa claimed that he was a first-time offender, so he got credit for that. And then he also took part in educational opportunities that were behind bars, which reduced his time significantly. That's what he was saying, and that's how he got out. That was his explanation for getting out so early, because, you know, people are still trying to calculate, well, how come him get out so early? And also, how come everybody that was involved with him was deported, but he was not? I don't know. I would have to ask Flippa that himself. I'm curious to know, though, how come everybody else got deported except for you off of that case? And how come you come out so early? So, we've had this discussion before. Had one person said, SouFLo, anyhow you see him get bail, just no say. And the feds them a work with long time. You see them let him out the other day? Them never let him out the other day because him finished no time and qualify for no good time and time reduce and all that. Them let him out to come work. Them let him out to come get some other people. I know me say so now. I'm telling you what's being said. Them let him out to come work, to come get some other people. Nine said Flippa had flip it. Where say Crystal G people are shuffle? Yeah, I don't know. I started thinking about it. He said, what if Flippa is actually a confidential informant because he was so deep in the game before. I don't know, normal something them catch Flippa them with whole heap of money in a cold cash and a whole heap of drugs them catch a move, like hard drugs, not a 1 kilo here and a 4 kilo there and nothing like that. And even those are big busts. So somebody put that out there and I thought I'll put that on the table, food for thought. So Flippa, any which part of the answer this, because I know how y'all do. It's not me saying you're a snitch or nothing. I'm saying we're having a conversation. I do commentary and this is food for thought. Okay? I'm thinking what the brother said though. How come, because it raised me curiosity, how come everybody else got deported out of that case except for you? And how come you come out so early? And then you're gone back in now. Somebody said, him come out, come do him work, SouFlo, and him gone back. Him gone back in, them call him back in. I don't know, I think we watch too much movies or something. Jones, McBride, and Brown, they are also drug convicts as well, which means they were all convicted before of drugs, drug possession, drug cases. So this is not their first time either. In outlining this case, U.S. authorities say that they have been tracking Flippa's or Flippa Mafia's movements and his co-accused. They've been tracking, they have recorded business conversations and everything. They have text messages. They've been tracking them since August of 2025. And this includes wiretap that they have now as evidence and information that they have gathered from them tapping Flippa Mafia's iCloud account. This is where they got all the information from, where they said he had a conversation with a girl, a female, a woman, a lady, who he said to her, they gave us the printout of the conversation in our other video we did, right? Where he said to her, him want buy the, I think he's a Lamborghini. He said he want buy the Lamborghini, but him, you know, the scrutinization that's going to come from it is like the itch to floss, because of him name Flossing King. So you can't name Flossing King and you can't come out of prison and tell them about flossing never stop. Well, where is the flossing? Because we're not seeing it. So he's itching to get back to flossing, but he don't want them on him. And he knows that they would turn eyes on him. So first, he's going to him have a plan. And the plan, him have to go open a legitimate business first. Or open a business and then him can... Basically, that's a conversation of you planning to do racketeering and money laundering, if y'all don't know that. If the feds catch you with a phone call like that, that is you planning to do racketeering and money laundering. I make enough money I sell drugs right now. You know, John won't want floss. I say the Lamborghini I want buy the blood clean Lambo in a dog. But here what? I know say the boy them are gonna watch me. Because them are going to say which part me I make so much money if you can't afford Lambo. And remember my case, so I just come off and so I have to just go and hold it back, you know. So I hold it back, you know. But I have a plan and here what I going to do. I set up that business here first and then I can floss because I can say, yeah, the money will come through that business here. That's exactly what racketeering is. And that's exactly what money laundering is. And that's exactly the conversation that they published. So he's in deep. He's in pretty deep. I remember saying him on probation already. He's been on probation since 2022. He didn't come off of probation yet. So to commit that while on probation, you better make a plea. You better be ready to make a plea. The only question is, what is he going to give them in exchange? That's the only question. What is it that he's going to give them in exchange? You know, I remember the artist 6ix9ine, the weird dude, Spanish dude, Danny, whatever them call him, 6ix9ine with the whole heap of color hair and stuff. I remember when the feds came in on them because 6ix9ine was Big B, Big Blood, throwing up gang signs and everything. The feds came in on them, right? And 6ix9ine got locked up along with everybody else, Shotty and all of them. 6ix9ine was making a lot of money doing music. But it was selling due to his association with the Bloods gang and high-ranking members that he would often be seen with. So people are like, yeah, he is certified Blood and blah, blah, blah. I remember the detective was doing an interview, and the detective said, all we told him was how much time he's facing and how he can reduce his time. And I said to him, the more information you give us, the less and less your time gets. The detective started to laugh, and the detective said, man, he just started spilling. He gave us so much information. We're on to people now that weren't even on our radar. Like they weren't even a thought for us. We didn't know they existed. That's how much information he's giving us. He's throwing everybody away. And it's working because his time is reducing because he's giving up so much. He said by the time he done snitching, he won't be doing no time. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like how much info Flippa gonna be able to forgive them. He might walk out to how, given his past, and him have to know some big plugs. Flippa would have been one of the people that would probably know with the 50 and 100 kilos and them thing that he probably would have been one of the people who know what the Met Lab and the manufacturers of it are. So he'll be seen as somebody who's very valuable in giving up information where they could get really big busts. I'm just saying. That's just based on, right? So Flo, you get it mixed up. John wasn't Sprague brother. In the movie, it was Blacker. Blacker! I lie. True. Blacker. Why John? Why me say John? I mean make up the name John? Santi Hustle, help me out. I mean make up the name John. A Blacker. No, but Flippa was John though. But Blacker was Sprague brother. All right. Lord, so when Flippa done, all me I say is if Flippa, we're not going to stay no more long upon Flippa case. I'm just letting y'all know that that's the update, is that they have all asked for the judge to pump the brakes on the speedy trial stuff so they can negotiate some deals with the prosecutors. How you negotiate deals with prosecutors in a case like this where you are all convicts. It says right here, Jones, McBride, Brown, they're all drug convicts as well. So Flippa and all of them caught before. Flippa him did that on probation still. When him get catch again, and they're asking, it's not 10 toes down. 10 toes down means send me to trial. I don't want to talk to nobody. Me and my lawyer will talk to you at trial. I'm not negotiating no deals with prosecution. That's 10 toes down. Obviously, he ain't doing 10 toes down. He's doing, make we talk and see what we can get something going. I tell people like this, everybody, and this is one reason why the drugs game is dangerous, because everybody talks about 10 toes down and I will never snitch. I'm not tell upon nobody. They say all that stuff until you're the person that's caught. You ever see the interrogation room them? When them carry you go in that room there, you realize how small the room is and you can't come out. It look like a padded cell for a crazy person. And then them go handcuff you to the table and ask you if you want a soda. Or if you hungry, you want something to eat, you want a bottle of water, and you go to lift up your hand and you can't lift up your hand because your hand is handcuffed to the table, or your feet are handcuffed to the damn chair or something in the room. Then people start to say something different. I know I ain't no snitch or none of that, officer, but you saying I'm looking at how much? 45? I can't do anything to reduce that time? Well, you can tell us who you did it with. Damn. can't do no 45 by myself though, because I didn't really do it. I was just with, you know what I'm saying? Y'all already caught me. So what if I give you the person who actually, I'll give you everybody else. Well, how much would that reduce my time? Well, now you're looking at 20. Anything I could do to reduce it from 20? Because 20 is long. Anything I could do to reduce it from 20? Trouble catch your picnic shot fit you. It drowning man grab at straws. That situation reach Mr. Mafia and company now. Junior Copeland. The 20 still so long. You already realize, so you knock it down already. But what else can I do? Well, I tell you what. You serve 5, we let you out. Because we can't just let you out. You serve 5, we let you out. You might even get out earlier than the 5, but the judge is going to hit you with 5. You get out, you're going to have to work as a confidential informant for us. So out there on these streets, you got to feed us what's popping. Keep us getting big bucks. 5, I just went from 45 to 20 to 5. Anything else I could do to lower the 5? They like, nah, you can't do anything else. You're going to have to take the 5. Good behavior, you'll be out in 2.5. Got it, officer, I got it. All right, so it was me, Derek Jones. He lived on 41st and 16th with his mama. His daddy ain't never been there. I grew up with him. It's just a single mama household. Stephen McKinney, he stayed 2 blocks over from Derek. We walked through Derek's backyard to get to his yard. I can show you where the house is. The yellow house that's on the corner. Devin McBride, he was the 3rd person in the car with us. He was the actual one who was driving. He was the driver. McKinney was the shooter. I was just there picking up shells, and I was drunk too, so I didn't really know what. Yep, now we got everybody and we got a story. Everybody played a role and how it went. So who planned this? Whose original idea was this? It was Derek's idea. Derek came to us and said that he know what time the man that owned the store get the money from the Brinks truck, and we got a 5-minute window where we could get that money from him before he put it in the safe. Because Derek used to work there back in the day, and he said it's still the same routine. So he the one that planned it. Let's start give up everything. We went from 45 to 5. Oh, we working on something. I'm making a deal. That's why I'm in that street life, because that part there of me would snitch. I'm not doing no 45. Not if you show me that there's a way that I could end up doing 5 instead of 45. And I'm sorry for who I got to tell on. So instead of putting myself through that, I just don't get involved in anything where I got to snitch on anybody. Me not do 45 for nobody. And tell me the JA politician you've been working with. Oh, so which one of the politicians have you been working with? Well, my papers that I came to the U.S. on were manufactured. That's not my real name. He actually got me a birth certificate in the name that I got now and a passport. I was actually a convict back in Jamaica, but I did some work for him. You see how I'm able to switch my accent up? Because I've been practicing a long time. I did a killing for him back in Jamaica, and then he decided he wanted to send me to America to come do some contract work for him. So then we started making mad money over here, and I was a muscle here, so he just left me in it. It's Andrew Holness. Head honcho? Andrew Holness? Y'all call him bro God? That man? The guy that run the country? Yeah, it is. But back in the day when I started with him, he wasn't the that yet. He wasn't the prime minister yet. Then I go on Jamaica for Andrew. But you can't send me back to Jamaica though after I tell you all this. You have to send me to like Belize or somewhere else with a new identity. I'm not saying put me in witness protection though, but give me a new identity. I need a new ID. Because after I tell on Andrew, I can't go back to Jamaica because they dangerous. Yeah. I'm sure you know that. You know about the big gangs down there. You know they're connected to the two political parties. So in reality, he a gang leader. He'll send the killers after me. I can't go back. But I can't go to prison for 45 either. So I'm giving up everybody. That would have made me in there just a sing. I would them not ask me, I tell them. I'm going back in all my primary childhood days. This is more than singing accompanied by a string quartet. I'm in there flossing. I'm giving them everything. Anyway, we wish Flippa all the best. I hope him don't have, well, I don't hope nothing. Him flip out and flip right back in. That's his road to travel in life, you know. All me I say is, nothing wrong with living within your means, family. And nothing wrong if you can't floss. If you can't floss, you can't floss. There's a whole heap of us out here who can't floss. We can't wear expensive shoes and clothes. And we can't drive no Lamborghini. We can't pull up to any big events in any Versace suit and all these things. We can't dash for $50,000 tonight and get it back by tomorrow. We can't bathe ourselves in champagne at parties, make everybody say, whoa. We can't do any of it. And we're quite content knowing that we can't do any of it. Because so when we get off at this live right here, I can actually jump in my truck and drive down to the beach, which is not too far from here. And I can lay outside on the beach. And I can hear and see the waves rolling, see two body clap passing a G-string, and can't look because I'm a married man and these kind of things. You know, laugh at the funny, simple things in life. Why back in my day, I wouldn't make that pass me, you know, blood fire, but I can't even look. Yeah, that, you know what I'm saying? We ain't worried about all that. Sometimes that's all it is, man. The small things are the most important things. And we get to know that now. But some people can't help it. Like Flippa can't help it. Him name Flossing King and him still want floss. Him no want people laugh after him, and living like this is below his means. You know what I'm saying? This is not what he thinks he should be. Sometimes you have to settle with what you get in a life. You hear, sir? If it's a job in a little restaurant round, so whatever the case may be, settle with what you get before you end up in a these people place, or before you end up in a prison with man and tear off your brief off of you. A brief then give them, I don't know. Or tear off your boxers off of you. Telling you about bend over squat, right hand grabs right cheek, left hand grabs left cheek. Cough harder. I'm cool. I wish him all the best still. Here's another one that's heading on her way to prison. Not a Jamaican. She's heading on her way to prison. After this, we're going to talk about the buff lift. That's popular now among Caribbean women. Cough. Them tell you cough and watch your body hole pucker. And them say cough harder. They're looking to see if anything's going to fall out. I've been told by people who did time that some of the people in there, the men guards, are actually homosexual. So they will definitely do a shakedown on your cell regularly, and they can easily mask it as we're searching for contraband. And then when that happens, they normally tell you to strip anyways. Now you're standing there butt bookie naked in front of some guy just because he is able to come up with an excuse to shake you down and strip you naked. And he want to see your teeth, so I'm going to tell you, move your hands. Let me see if you're hiding anything back there. Then he's going to tell you, bend over and turn around and all this other stuff. So no, I'm good. I don't want to go through any of that. So flossing is not for me. Maybe if I hit the lotto or something like that, I'll end up doing the flossing that I've been dreaming of doing. Until then, I'm quite content not being able to floss. Before them go have me in there, I spin popular. Mama, remember that song there? I don't remember who sang the song. Mama, come take me out here. Bad boy, have me down here. I spin popular, mama. Yeah, they are what? Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've heard that a lot of those guards are that way and they get aroused by it. tell you bend over and use right hand grab right. That sound weird to me. That sound like your umana bakas. Your position are proper. Me no want a man talk to me like that. I would never be the same again in life. And mind you, when you go to prison, you got to do what you have to do to survive, right? Unless you make up your mind, say, you're going to off yourself or you're not coming out. So if you make up your mind to survive in there, you have to go along with everything that's going on behind there. I think about those consequences before me think about anything else. So when the opportunities come, I don't see them. I don't want to see them. Because I don't think about the consequences already. No man tell me if I bend over and use my right hand, grab my right body cheek, and my left hand grab my left cheek, and then you're going to hear spread them. Spread what? You're fighting me every single time. I'm one of the prisoners them where them have to go fight and tears and beat up every single time because I will never willingly spread my body cheek for no man. So to avoid all that, we're just not going there here, sir. We're not doing anything that could possibly cause us to end up in there. Hopa. Dr. Flo, the man there. Where's that? The man that are tough as them portray when them reality set in, them soft like alligator belly. Most men are. Most men are. One of my favorite shows to watch is The First 48. Them have The First 48 on Netflix now. Me I watch First 48 from way back when First 48 was a show where not too many people did watch. And I've watched it for a long time now. So I see them go in the room. I see them crack under pressure when they hear how much time they're facing. Every time the detective says, well, you know, this carries about 45 years. It's up to you if you want to go do 45 years by yourself. Or you can cooperate, because I know it wasn't you by yourself. You can cooperate. I know you don't want to be a snitch, but 45 years, that's a long time, man. How old are you again? 23. So in 45 years, add 23 to that, you know, you're coming out of prison. You ready to come out of prison at 70? You're like, I watch the video of them. I see them all the time. And every one of them crack. Of all the years I've been watching it, and I think I've been watching it for over a decade, all the years I've been watching it is one guy I ever seen not crack. One. And he was like, yep. Nope, did it by myself. And they're like, no, you didn't. It was a murder. No, you didn't, because that's the First 48 is. It's a murder. They're trying to show you that they could solve a case in 48 hours. And they also say that if you're not able to solve a murder case in the first 48 hours of it happening, it becomes much more difficult after 48 hours have passed. Not to mention, if more days and weeks have passed, it becomes almost impossible, but not impossible. So it named the First 48. One person I've ever seen, of the thousands that I've seen, one man alone me ever see go in another room there. And they said, well, you know, this looks like you're a serial killer or a mass murderer. I mean, it was like 5 people that died from this, but you weren't the only one. He said, I'm the only one. I don't know what you're talking about. He said, you know, man, they're going to look at you like a stone cold killer. And they're going to give you a lot of time. You willing to go down for 5 bodies all by yourself. He said, I'm the only one that did it. He wasn't the only one that did it, but he wasn't willing to snitch. And he was the only one that wasn't willing to snitch. Everybody else that I've seen ended up, can I get a deal? Okay, man, I'm going to tell you who it is. Just like that. Moving right along. There's a young lady here who we are now learning is very much Jamaican. The funny thing is, as soon as I saw this woman, now I've done this video before. I've covered her before. in probably about 2 months ago. I covered her story. And I said to myself, this woman is a Jamaican. After I read the details of the case and I saw her face, something about Jamaican people, something about Caribbean people, I can tell that you're from the Caribbean. Sometimes I might not know which Caribbean island, but I could tell if you're from the Caribbean. But if I zero in on you and I say that's a Jamaican, I practice it outside like I've told you before, right? I would randomly pick people out and say, I bet you say it's a Jamaican that. And then I go ask them, I say, you come from Jamaica? And them used to say, yeah, man. Yeah, yard man too. And I'm saying, you see, I tell you say it's a Jamaican. How you know that? Because of the way he was walking. I don't know. Or because of something. I looked at her and I said, she's a Jamaican. Well, you know how we stay already. As Jamaicans, if I agree in the red, nothing can happen and leave. We out it. So she has involved herself in something that is pretty big. Me see the Jamaican people, them stitching her out already. I was on Facebook, one of the lead links to this story. And there was quite a few Jamaicans on the US site saying, I know where this woman is, but I would have to see the money hit my account first. Another person said, she soon get catch because a whole heap of money that they are offering. And in Jamaica, that's even whole heap more money. A South Florida woman, y'all know the South Florida community, the Jamaican community in South Florida, the Caribbean community. Jamaicans, them there in a South Florida. And we're there enough. A South Florida woman wanted for her alleged role in the $34 million COVID-19 funds fraud scheme has made the FBI's new most wanted list as a fraudster. When local police are looking for you is one thing. When them 3-letter people that take up your name and start look for you, is a whole different thing. There's a reward, $150,000 for information leading to her whereabouts, leading to her arrest. How much is $150,000 in Jamaican dollars?
150,000 United States dollars equals 23,695,935 Jamaican dollars.
23,695,935. Oh, somebody I got to tell upon you. You better go under the ground. She is one of the first of 8 fugitives to make the new list that was announced by the FBI Director Kash Patel last week. She was last seen in Palm Beach County on June 3rd, 2025, and she was scheduled for an appearance in court 2 days later, but she disappeared. She disappeared, officials said. A federal warrant has been issued for her. The warrant was issued on May 22nd from 2025. May 22nd, they have not seen or heard from her since. She and others, her team, allegedly submitted more than 90 fraudulent applications for funds from the Paycheck Protection Program, the PPP program, Economic Injury Disaster Loans, Restaurant Revitalization Fund, and Shuttered Revenue Operations Grants between May of 2020 and November of 2021, totaling a sum of $34 million. Then I saw them did not give her money in the PPP sitting May of 2020 to November of 2021. May of 2021 till May of 2021, that's a 1 year. 1 year and 5 months time, they cleared $34 million. Wow. Talk about a lick. She got enough money to change her face. She got enough money to change her fingerprints. Right now, she probably in one of them islands speaking Spanish. She not even going back to Jamaica. Hola, ¿qué pasó? Nada bien. ¿Qué? Oh, no. Yo no comprende inglés. She out of there. She out of there. Yo no habla inglés, mama. No. Yo no comprende inglés. No. ¿Cómo te llamo? Oh, sí. No. Me llamo Joyce. ¿Dónde es vivo? Aquí. Sí. She speak one whole different language right now. Her face look different and everything. In 1 year or 5 months, 34 million. My girl said, me no have no restaurant, but me take out money under the restoration fund. Me no have no establishment when need shutters and protection and rebuilding, but me take out money under that the fund. I think the next thing to do is run. So she run. You think we easy? You think we play? She gone. FBI look for her, so them soon find her. If she's managed to elude them since, they have not seen her since she was last seen on June 3rd of 2025. That was the last sighting of her. She was supposed to be in court 2 days after that. So she would have been in court June 5th or June 6th of 2025. That's the last time them see her. That's over a year ago. We passed June 6th, today the 10th. So a year and a couple of days. She well hidden. So Miami Spanish do you well. No, I want to tell you, well, yeah, that too. That too. Shout out to Knox. Because when I was going to Knox, I was taking Spanish and I was taking French. No, I lie. I'm not Knox. That's Miami. I was doing Spanish and French. I did do Spanish. They did teach us Spanish in Jamaica, but that was just the foundation. Up here, we didn't want to speak many different languages, so I took up Spanish and French. And what was happening to me was I would speak French in my Spanish class and Spanish in my French class. So my teacher said, you're going to have to choose. You're going to have to choose. How you say? I don't know what they mean, but me remember, comment t'appelles tu? Comme si, comme ça. And then after that, I just Haitian sitting, remember. Get mama and Coco Santi and Femela Beko. They kind of sit there. So, me I'm going to know after me leave the French, traditional French, institutional French, me just link up with the Haitian them and start learning how to cuss in a Haitian pattern. You know? Coco Santi. Coco Santi mean your pum pum stink. Get mama oh. That's kind of like our way of saying suck your mother. Femela Beko. Femela Beko, it means shut your beak. Like hush your mouth. Which one again? And of course, everybody knows how the greetings go, right? Creole, me end up the Creole. But for Spanish, I could read Spanish really well. Because I read so much Spanish, read till I start read it like how I read English. But then I don't understand 90% of what I read. I just know how the pronunciation goes and how it should sound. So I can't fool you. Because if you hear me read Spanish, you would think, oh, he's definitely from the Latin Caribbean or him speak Spanish. But I don't really speak Spanish still. And plus I haven't been practicing it, so I haven't maintained it. So I don't remember much. But remember where you're going, where do you live, I live over here. Basic conversation. You know, you can ask a girl which part you go, where your name, and tell her where my name is and which part me live and where she live. And that. You can say I want something to eat. Just the basics. That's about it. That's about it. What you say? Enough people get catch with that so-called free money. I told you all about the person who was the real estate agent who was trying to get me to do it, right? Where I drive around and look for houses and stuff. One white woman. And the funny thing is she disappeared. She disappeared on a scheduled visit to go look at a property. And we are saying, isn't she supposed to come? Because she would normally give us the location and we'll go meet her up at the property. Then you know go. Them open the property and walk you through and tell you about it. We did quite a few locations with this lady. And then all of a sudden she wasn't around anymore. So we were like, this is weird. Where's she there? How come she just disappeared like that? Got a call from the agency that she worked with, the real estate agency, and they were like, hey, we're sending you somebody else because your realtor is, I forgot what the hell they said happened to her. But the whole time that woman was here, she kept pressing me like, there's a lot of money being given away right now. I got some. You know, I don't even own a business. I told them I got 9 employees and my business is down. I'm not making any income. They don't really ask for proof. Me, I said, what? She was like, yeah, I just got a big check for how much 2,000. And she was like, I'm about to get another one. I mean, I think about it, you know. She was like, you know, it could knock off a sizable chunk of the house that you're going to purchase and stuff. She'll make it sound good. Something just said to me, say, this sound not real. This sound like the woman here is an agent. And after her, I said, here on this show, I said, you see that PPP something there? People are going to start go prison for it. Watch and see. Y'all seen after the pandemic blew over, what happened? People started going to prison for the PPP loans. I predicted it because that's the loans that she was trying to get me to take out, and then she disappeared, which made me think somebody sent her to come set me up, or maybe that was her job. Her job was to go around enticing people. It's called entrapment, right? Entrapment is this guy was not looking for any coke to buy. He's not even in a coke. But you are going to endear yourself to him. Well, I know every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, he takes his daughter to dance. So I'm going to go by that dance studio. I'm going to say hi to him, and then I'm going to talk to him a lot. And then eventually I'm going to tell him that, yo, I know a way you can make a lot of money. It's illegal, but I've been doing it for 20 years. I've never been caught yet. I could put you in on a good deal. It's 10 kilos of coke. This shit carries a minimum of 10 years in prison. I'm not going to tell you that. He's looking for somebody to entrap. And that's how them catch you. And once them catch you, get you in a deal, they turn you over to them feds friend and move on to somebody else. Do the same thing all over again. So I'm thinking she's an agent and she wasn't no real estate agent, but that's what her job was. And I'm lucky as hell because I was tempted to do it too. I'm lucky as hell that I just resisted the temptation because it felt wrong. Which government agency are going to give you thousands and thousands of dollars on repeat and don't really ask for proof? You just have to give a story. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. That does sound right. See that? And that them I look for this Jamaican girl for. She's wanted. The last time they saw her was June 3rd. They also submitted more than, the fraudulent, 90 fraudulent applications. Cleared a total of 34 million US dollars. The applications contained false information regarding employee counts, payroll expenses, business revenues, all of that. The scheme actually resulted in a wrongful disbursement, meaning the money was sent out to her $29.1 million in PPP funds, $1.2 million in RRF funds, and $3.8 million in SVOG funds is what she collected. After the funds were disbursed, it said that ESCO and her team directed payments to each other and each other's so-called businesses that they controlled. And each one would withdraw the large sum of money and turn it over to the other one in cash. And they used blank, signed or signed checks to conceal the origin and the nature of the proceeds. ESCO faces multiple charges, including conspiracy to commit wire fraud, conspiracy to commit money laundering, wire fraud, concealment of money laundering, transactional money laundering. And she is from Jamaica, and she goes by a couple of aliases that we know, one of them being Annie, and the other one being Annie Palmer, officials said. They believe that she might be in Jamaica. And if you know anything about her whereabouts and you want to pick up $150,000 US, please contact 1-800-CALL-FBI. Good luck going to Jamaica and asking for Annie Palmer, because everybody have a point on the down to which part, the Rose Hall place there, the witch, down at Rose. You gonna end up down, y'all can go on a tour and go check out the Wicked Witch of Rose Hall place. Because that's where everybody have a point them at. You know somebody around here named Annie Palmer? They're gonna be like, oh yes man, she's a witch, you know. Wicked bitch. You know her. Yes, every Jamaican know her. Oh, so she's famous. Where is she located? Over there, so. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Morning, Flo. How going, brother?
Yeah, no family. Welcome.
Hey, I said during COVID, you know, I get desperate, you know, brother. I try the PCP. I'm going to Fort Lauderdale. And when I go there, stop and say like nothing. And me and my cousins go there and they look for me. I'm not even walking, I really good and me I get on side there. You saw me go up to the desk and say, no speak English. You can't help you. The man, they not even don't say nothing. After years after, I see them do like an investigation and everything. I said, thank you, Jesus. Me happy we never get it. And some people when know gun, them harass them, say, yo, pay about this X amount, whatever. And my cousin looked at me and said, Jesus. She started getting nervous.
Prison, you're not going
yo,
bro?
I said, me happy. I want to happy this time of my life.
Yeah, I feel like that woman didn't come to set me up too. I don't know who
me
sent
didn't need
her.
the money they're doing.
You didn't need the money.
What? I'm not saying I'm going like say, me did in need. You know, you need something that you really do, especially with two with me.
Yeah.
And a wife, me need it, brother. But father and I look out still.
God did the pie side.
You cut Spanish boy. I blame on you.
No, yo hablo español. Yo no comprendo inglés.
¿Un poquito inglés o un poquito de español?
Sí, un poquito inglés. Yo comprendo un poquito inglés.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, brother. Have a great day.
Big up yourself, see?
One love.
One love, bro. Yeah. The time, what the pay first, me carry you there. Hey, Mervin, when we don't tell them, say, me know our house. How much money she take for her? 34 million US? And that's why she can't afford that big house. Yo, the house is huge out of it. The house is huge. I don't have the Annie Palmer estate, me I carry them going, you know, I gotta show you. I drop them at the gate. You know, you have to drive, go in there and walk, go way up at. I'm say I can't go all the way in because they do serious stuff to snitches here in Jamaica. I don't want them to know that I told you, but I'm gonna take you to where she's at. She bought a big house with that money. Yeah, she done yeah, so make sure them they deposit my 150,000 or 23.6 million Jamaican dollar that when me cut. Hey, the next one we're going to talk about this morning, you see, is Jamaica buff lift. Buff lift, not butt lift with a T, BUFF lift. The buff. They sit now and make enough man life mash up. It's something where make enough man mash up them family. The buff. They're so fixated on the buff. Apparently, here we are. A doctor said that a small but steady number of women so far, a small but steady number, have been heading to the operation rooms seeking fuller intimate contouring through fat transfer surgery. At the end of it, the patient appears to be born and bred resident of Buff Bay. That means the transfer of the fat. They're taking out fat from other parts of the body and they're putting it into the buff. So the buff seems extra buff. Plastic surgeon Dr. Hotchtritt of Pro Surgery Care Services Ltd, actual business, he says that the treatment is informally dubbed the Jamaican buff lift. That's what they've called it now. Boy, what a world we live in. One time gone, flat pum pum did still okay. Now, surgery to buff it up. He said, it's something that we come across quite regularly here, enough that we actually gave it its own name. You know how they have the Brazilian butt lift? Well, that one is called the Jamaican buff lift. If I laugh, I'm dead. He said the procedure involves transferring the patient's own body fat from one area to another, which is a technique that is widely used in cosmetic surgery, similar to the Brazilian butt lift or a BBL. Fat is removed through liposuction, and then it is injected into targeted areas to increase volume. In this case, the focus is on the external genitalia area and surrounding tissues. The full proper medical term would be an autologous fat transfer, Dr. Hotchtritt said. That is basically when you take your own fat that you have, they harvest it with liposuction somewhere, and then they put it somewhere else. You can do that anywhere. So it doesn't really matter if it's on the butt or if it's the breast or if it's in scars or if it's in the face, he said. That's how they started out anyways. People started out in their faces. Majabo and Sinkini, take some fat from around here so and put it up here so. All right, my face look round and nice now. Me don't look so whole no more. Take a little fat, put it around here so. That's how it started out. And then people started going lower. See what you can do for me flat breast them, because them long like swing song rope. And then fat up the breast around here so. Them say, boy, I like how them perky and them stand up. See what you can do for me buff, because my buff not buffing. Them take some fat from around there so put it in there. Ooh, she buff. Looks like I come from Buff Bay. That's how they came up with the name for it. That's funny. The procedure involves transferring fat from one place to the other. He said that according to him, the demand for this procedure right now is modest, mainly because people are not too aware that it exists yet, but it's spreading like wildfire. He said that many patients request it while already having another cosmetic enhancement performed, though some seek it out specifically. For many patients, it's an add-on procedure, but there are others who come in asking for that and that alone. Doctor, me here say I can fat up my buff. The surgeon believes that cultural standards of beauty may be contributing to the growing interest. He said it's a cultural thing, how the heavy front is perceived as something sexy and something youthful, especially in Jamaica, because that's one thing about Jamaican men. So we had this discussion before where I told Jamaican men, say, come and see a woman in our picture one day on social media, right? And the amount of comment we see under video, which is an older Jamaican woman it look like. Well, it's a black woman and she look older. But the amount of man where they dip on the picture where they say, I have some young boy, I know them say, blood fire. The amount of clump what she have under that. What a fat. Me say, what a fat. And I said, that's not her that is her mons pubis. That is her pubic section. That's how the hair grow. In order for you to see and access a woman's actual heavens entrance, you'd have to go in between legs. So I know that you see when you see that sitting there up front. Not Jamaican men. Jamaican men are convinced that what them see up front is the actual something. So now the woman them are having surgery to fat up the front more so them can see more fatness. And the doctor is saying, here it's a cultural thing. Because them most of the man them want to see a buff front, and the buffer the front, the better. Now the surgery is taken off. Usually they would have people come in who have other procedures going on, and that would be just like an add-on to it, like put a little bit down here, but let's take care of the butt because that's what we really came for, do the face, the breasts and whatever. But them they are Jamaica now, strictly buff them are coming in for. I would say it's women mostly below 40 years old, he said. He said, while patients tend to be younger women, Dr. Hartridge said that the procedure attracts individuals from a wide across section of society. He said, I would say that it's mostly women who are below 40, but it's not like the early 20s age group. So I would say it's mainly those below 40, but they are out of all socioeconomic groups. It's not a particular type of woman though, he said. According to the surgeon, the Jamaican buff lift is not the Jamaican buff lift. That sounds, it rolls off my tongue, the Jamaican buff lift. It's not considered a major surgery and generally carries limited risk. He said that the harvested fat is placed just beneath the skin of the labial and surrounding areas. However, he has encountered patients who are seeking corrective surgery after doing this procedure elsewhere, and then procedure got botched. The most common issues are infections after scarring that leaves scarring, which can happen with any surgery. But I saw a couple of people that were overfilled as well, where the labia were so big that they had a problem even sitting down. Ah, boy. And it dryly just end like that. He didn't say don't do it. He gave you the name of his business, told you where he's located. Him said just don't overfill it, because if you do, you might have a problem sitting down like he's seen. Not too many risks. So you don't have to worry about that. It's not that risky. It's not like a BBL, heavy front. Big heavy front gal, big batch up front gal. Hey, wear something else, man. Look at our priorities, huh? Ghana surgery. Forget buff lift. Is this real? Elephant ears VG. At the end of the day, that is the most obscene thing you could ever see, Lulu. Lulu said the elephant ears VGs. Roast beef VG. That's the hey, that's like a, I'm not gonna say almost said too much. Let me leave that alone. I'm not body shaming anybody. Cause you know, yeah, I won't. Last one that's going to take us out of here this morning is Jamaica Customs can seize your money. I think this one is more valuable to all of us than anything else. So, like I said in the beginning of this show, there was a customs officer who thought he was clearing everything up for us the other day, but he never cleared nothing up. He actually had us more confused than anything else. So I had to go look up some stuff on my own. So listen carefully, and then we're going to be out of here. All right? It is not true that Jamaican Customs automatically seizes your cash just because it exceeds 100,000 Jamaican dollars. It is not true. However, under what's called the Proceeds of Crime, or POCA, Customs and border officials in Jamaica, they have the legal authority to question you, to impound, and to seize any amount of cash if it is suspected of being linked to unlawful conduct, or if you cannot verify when they ask you to the legitimacy of this money, the source. Where did you get it from? Now, mind you, that's not a whole heap of money. How much is 100,000 US dollars in Jamaican dollars?
100,000 US dollars converts to approximately.
Oh yeah, I thought. How much is 100,000 Jamaican dollars in US dollars?
100,000 Jamaican dollars equals 633 United States dollars and 8 cents.
$633.08. So if you fly into Jamaica with $600, they could take your money away from you. And this is based on their suspicion. Simply their suspicion. If they suspect, they can confiscate. Okay? Now, if they ask you to prove where you got it from and you can't, they can hold on to it. So the official rules, which some of us are already familiar with, because in America it's the same thing, right? You're not supposed to be traveling with anything 10,000 or more US dollars. You have to declare that money in order to move with that money. Yes, my friend Banches. Yes, 600. 600. Now, the mandatory, somebody said just needs to let go some breeze. I'm thinking about the elephant ears when Lulu Rigid said it. Elephant ears VJs. Anyways, the mandatory declaration limit. So you are legally required to declare all cash, travelers' checks, and money instruments totaling 10,000 US dollars or more, US dollars or more. If you have that much money by you, declare it, because if you don't declare it, they will take it away from you. Or exact equivalent in any currency. That means it doesn't have to be in US. If you have 8,000 something pounds, it's going to work out to 10,000 something US dollars. You wouldn't need to declare that. Don't fly into Jamaica and say, I got 8,000 pounds on me, so them now I'm going to take that and I don't have to declare it. So you have to look at whatever monies you're carrying, and if it translates into 10,000 US or more, it's mandatory to be declared or it will be confiscated, including Jamaican dollars upon arrival and departure. The 100,000 Jamaican dollar misunderstanding. That misinformation recently circulated on social media regarding the seizure of funds over $100,000. The Jamaican Customs Agency explicitly clarified that traveling with 100,000 Jamaican dollars is perfectly legal. The issue arises if you fail to declare, this 100,000 Jamaican now, you know. The issue declares if you fail to declare funds over 10,000 US, or if you are carrying smaller amounts, but you cannot see. This is what he didn't explain. First of all, it says that they have the right to confiscate your money, what amount it is, as long as they have any suspicion that your money might be connected to anything illegal. That's all they have to have, is a suspicion that is connected to anything illegal. So that 10,000 US limit, that's not necessary. If you have 10,000, you are supposed to and mandatory to have it reported. But if you have way less than that, they can still confiscate your money. That's the reality, right? So the issue arises, they say, when you fail to tell them, say, you have 10,000 or more, or if you are carrying smaller amounts of money, but you cannot prove the money's legitimate source. If you are carrying smaller amounts, but you cannot prove the money's legitimate source. If customs officers have reasonable grounds to suspect that the funds you are carrying, doesn't matter how much it is, are proceeds of any crime, they can seize it and they can force you to legally prove its legitimacy before you can retrieve it. If you're traveling with large sums of money, you should be prepared to provide supporting documentation to ensure a smooth process at the border. You are encouraged to declare all relevant funds on Jamaica's online immigration and customs C5 form prior to your arrival. So that would be the safest thing to do for everybody, because I know people are asking right now, all right, so if I have like a $1,500, they want to take on my money. Well, the safest thing to do is to declare it on the form, the C5 form. But me see somebody say, yes, declare it on the form so the same custom officer them can set up them gunman friend out a road for rob you. Because you declare, say, me have a 10 grand or 9 grand a come in, and I know say a 10 me supposed to report, but me have 9.5 US for me. But me no want no trouble, so me I declare it. Yo, a boy I reach in, me I'll tell you how him look on who. 9.5, yeah, over $1 million that. Right, that's what over $1 million that in a one go. So the people them still paro. I'm not saying that the custom officers are gonna do that. I'm just saying this is a concern of many people. People would rather travel incognito with their money and not have anybody know just how much money they are traveling with. You know, enough of it old school. You know, you put a little 1,000 in a one socks over here, so you put a little 2 grand in a bottom of some shoes over there, so you know you put certain amount around here, so you shell out the money. All my singles going at this pocket, that's where we are going to tip people from and do all these kind of things. Yeah, but them want to know exactly how much money you're coming into the country with. I think that could be a problem, or contribute to me at least feeling very antsy about. Here's how you solve that at the end of the day. Just don't travel with no money. Just don't travel with no money. Bank, your bank card work just as good in Jamaica. It work like you're here. So just set up your account, so when you're pulling out, you know what I'm saying, these kind of things. I don't know what else to tell you, but that is that. Better me go the ATM. Yeah, that's what I say. Better you just go at the ATM. You know you're going to need a little money though, like when you land. If you're like me when you land, because me land with my belly. So I want some food right away. And then the last time I went to the party place at the airport, Sangsas, them say cash only. Then you have to go over there so and hustle. They have the ATMs right out there. So you have to go there so and go draw out some cash and then go over there so and go. It's better you just go to the ATM. Yeah. I forgot the ATMs are right there as soon as you come out. But then you don't have no cash for you for the little youth where I go, or the man where I go do your bag them and carry your bag them, come out and the port of them. I don't know. Work it out for yourself. All right. Whichever one is safer is what I would say. But now that you know, you know. The same custom officer set them up too after they get the information. See, that's what people are saying. And that's why people are saying they're not going to put it on the form. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Well, go on, SouFLo. How many you talk about the lady, man, doing the story?
What lady?
The lady who sexed her for her stepfather.
Oh, rotted. Because we didn't do that. We're going to leave that for tomorrow morning.
Oh.
I did say, though, you are right, because I did say today when we go live, we're going to start with that. But the Karmelo Anthony case, bro, it kind of took over that, so I forgot. So tomorrow morning when we start, we'll start off with that.
My son will tell Jerome. My name is Maverick.
Maverick?
Yeah.
All right, Jerome.
That is it.
All right, the brother said his name is Maverick, sir. Big up yourself, see it?
All right, good.
So I'm gone from no name, John Doe, stomach to John Doe to Maverick. So we can now call him Maverick. Custom setup. I used my card right through when I was in JA in December. I bought my patties in the airport, songsters with my card. See, I tried to do that too, but it wouldn't work. They told me cash only. But I just go at the ATM. I went to the ATM and pulled out cash and went back and bought food same way. You thought he said mackerel. Him said Maverick. A Maverick him said. All right, so look, we're going to end it for today, right? But tomorrow when I start, we're going to start with the video is already up for those who haven't watched it. I changed the title so you can identify it better. It's a woman who confessed that her child father is actually her mother's husband. And it's a secret that she fears that if she lets out the secret, it's going to ruin her family. But one bag of story. So go listen to the video, hear all the stuff that she said, because she gave us a whole lot of information, how it happened and all these other kind of things. And then get ready for tomorrow morning, because tomorrow morning we're going to start right there. So I actually want to do a call-in and public discussion of that right there. All right? Because we didn't. Yesterday we just did a pre-recorded video to it. Right. Yes, Audrey, our stepdaddy, is her... Boy, let's not go there. Have a wonderful day. My granny, Miss Ruby, said be good. If you can't be good, be careful, but it's best to be good. And my grandfather, Mas Clevey, said, I will see you tomorrow if God spare life. You are not God. You are not in control. If God spare life, we'll meet again tomorrow.